everybody. If you were expecting 10-foot snow drifts here in New England, forget about it. Temperatures in the lower 50s. Wind out of the northwest at 13 miles an hour. They'll play on artificial turf today. An absolutely incredibly nice day for Walker, and we are underway. Walker at the 10. He's still on his feet. Carries out across the 30-yard line. He is brought down by Steve King. Oh, the Dolphins will begin in excellent field position out across their own 30-yard line. Here's a look at how Miami will begin. Woodley at quarterback. His running backs, Tony Nathan and Andra Franklin. Duriel Harris, Jimmy Cephalo, Ronnie Lee, the receivers. Here's the offensive lineup. Goodwin, Gisler, Taves, Denard, Newman, and Luxo. Capacity crowd on here at Schaefer Stadium. Jimmy Cephalo to the top of your screen. Duriel Harris to the bottom. Second man through. It is Nathan. He's across the 33-yard line. He's brought down by Bishop and Matthews. There's a look at the New England Patriot defensive lineup. They play a 3-4. McGee, Bishop, and Adams will start at the front. The linebackers, Hawkins, Steve Nelson is back from a shoulder injury. Bill Matthews, Rod Schote. And the defensive backs, Claiborne, Lee, Tim Fox, and Roland James. Andra Franklin, the lone setback. Two tight ends from Miami. In motion, Bruce Hardy. Give left side, it is Franklin. And he's across the 35-yard line. He is rolled out of bounds by Bill Matthews.
Brought down by Bill Matthews.
There was not a good pitch that Franklin got as he came on that sweep to the left. Andra's coming off a very big ball game, 116 yards last week. First back to go over 100 yards. First fullback anyway since 1977. As you can see, he bobbled that pitch. Managed to get outside, though, to pick up a few yards.
Andra Franklin, 5'10", 225 pounds. The rookie out of Cornhusker country. 3rd and 5, ball at the 37. Woodley will put it up. It is Harris, and he cannot hold on. Back to defend was the free safety, Timmy Fox. And Gene Woodley just sort of put that one up for grabs. He'd run underneath it.
Well, the reason he put it up was because he got a blitz from number 53, Bill Matthews. But you can see Duriel Harris is going downfield and makes an excellent move as he looks to the post, comes back to the corner, but the ball has to be put up early, as I mentioned, because Woodley saw the blitz coming. Tim Fox was sitting right back there and almost came up with an interception.
So it's a punting situation for Miami. From their own 38, Tom Orris is back to boot it, averaging just over 40 yards a kick, long as 55 yards. He'll have plenty of time to kick it away. Stanley Morgan at the 19. Flag goes down as Morgan is taken out of bounds by number 54, Steve Potter. A 43-yard punt. And I believe they're going to get Lynn Dawson for clipping.
So there are 3 or 4 flags out on this play. I think there was a consensus that the same person was guilty. It's probably going to be illegal use of the hands. We have a player down, a Dolphin player down on the sidelines. You can't see the number yet.
And they'll walk it off against the Patriots. Let's listen.
Number 87, illegal block above the waist, first down.
An illegal block, and it is against the tight end, Lynn Dawson. So the Patriots will start deep in their own into the playing field. There's a look at the backs, Brogan, Collins, and Cunningham. The receivers, Morgan, Jackson, and Hasselbeck. And here's a good look at that offensive line. Brogan will put it in the air, right out of the chute. A little screen. It is to Cunningham. And Sam brings it out across the 20-yard line. A 9-yard pickup. The defensive line for Miami, Betters, Baumhauer, and Bernd Den Herder. The linebackers, Brzezinski, Roan, A.J. Dewey, and Larry Gordon. And the defensive backs, McNeil, Small, Lyle Blackwood, and Glenn Blackwood. 2nd and 1 for the Patriots. The ball at the 22. Lockwood was there on the coverage. You get a good look at Morgan there. 50-year man out of Tennessee.
Well, that pass was badly overthrown. There's not much wind blowing, so Grogan doesn't have that to blame. Miami dropped back in their zone defense. There wasn't much room in there. And I think what happened is that Grogan got a little tentative with his pass and was trying to guide it. And when you do that, I played quarterback at Stanford for a while, and not too successfully, by the way. So I know when those passes get away on you, what happens.
3rd and 1. Ball at the 22. In motion, Dawson, give, left side, Cunningham. And he'll be close to the first down. Cunningham coming back from a hamstring injury. Steve Scholl was there to bring him down.
Bill, the Patriots want to get their running game established. As you can see in the middle of this line play, they're coming off in pretty good shape. But if they're going to be able to get the big play, which they like to do, they're going to have to establish the run first. That tends to be a cliche, establishing the run first. But it's so very important, particularly when you're playing against a team that employs a 3-4, because you have to be able to draw those linebackers up. And you do that by running the football effectively.
Boy, look at that. You're talking about an inch and a half. And you've got to wonder if they're going to go for it, Gene. I think they are. Yeah. Yes, they are. Don't you know the crowd here loves it. 4th and about an inch and a half. We'll take a look at some of this capacity crowd on hand here at Schaefer Stadium. What's he called? 12:41 of the first period. Logan dives in over Big John Hanna. I think he got it.
They get things started in a hurry. Let's take a look. We're right down on the field, right in the trenches, and you'll see these people come off. Number 75, Bob Crowder, leads the way. Steve Grogan just goes right over the top of it for the first down.
Grogan can run the football. 9 carries for 35 yards and a touchdown. David Woodley is the one who gets most of the praise for his running ability. 1st and 10, ball at the 24. Grogan with time. He's going to go for it. He's open. Touchdown.
Stanley Morgan comes off the field, maybe the fastest receiver in all of football, and he just flew by Gerald Small, as you'll see on this play. Grogan drops back, and he throws the ball down here for a 76-yard touchdown, and Stanley actually slows down for the football. Look at this. We mentioned before that the Patriots like to go for the big play, but in order to do that, you have to set it up, and that's what they did so well. They ran the ball, they got those people up a little bit, and then they went over the top for a touchdown.
So the Patriots draw first blood in an electrifying way. It is 6-0. John Smith will try and make it a 7-0 ball game. The snap is high. It is down. And John Smith converts his 25th point after in 26 attempts. Oh, what a big start. 11:54 to play in the first period. It is the Patriots on top, 7-0. There you get a look at Don Shula. And he is not used to being in this position very often, Gene.
Well, I think he may be thinking about that jinx that they're faced with up here at Foxborough. The Patriots have certainly gotten off to the best start that you can.
John Smith set to kick it away for the second time here today. A little sidewinder. It is Fulton Walker at the 6. Good block, moves him out across the 30-yard line. They'll mark him out of bounds at the 33.
You see number 86, Stanley Morgan. He catches that football and turns on the Jets, and there's nobody going to catch him. And Bill, Morgan talked before about a lot of receivers in the league have great speed, but it takes more than that to be an outstanding receiver. You need some moves. When he got that wide open, there must have been a move or two in there. He sold the defensive back that he was going to break into the middle or go a little short or something, because he beat the guy about 5 yards and had to slow down to actually catch the football.
Well, the many beat the corner and the free. Lyle Blackwood and Gerald Small. That 76-yard touchdown pass, Grogan and Morgan's longest hookup ever. Now you can look at David Woodley's position. 1st and 10, Miami, the ball at the 33. Woodley, 3-step drop, comes near side. It is Gurriel across the 40-yard line before Roland James brings him down.
This is a play that the Dolphins love to run, that little quick out. Paul Warfield made a living on this play, running that one, then he'll come back to the inside with a quick slant in. And what they do is that they're able to control the football, particularly on first down. And this is something that we'll refer to all day long. How the Dolphins do on first down, whether they gain 4 yards or more. They call it winning on first down.
Here's the score. Green Bay leads the Giants 7-0 in the first period. Justus Hood with a 42-yard interception for a touchdown. In motion, Bruce Hardy. Pitch right side, Franklin. He turns it upfield, crosses the 45, a first down for Miami. Andre Franklin's the workhorse. Look at this, 116 carries, 422 yards, and 6 touchdowns this year. Boy, they've had a lot of good ones, Gene, out of Cornhusker country.
Phil, obviously the Dolphins have decided that they want to run the football today because they have Tony Nathan. He's back in there now in a passing situation, but he was out of there. They decided they want to run the football and get that established. Let's take a look at these stats. See that Miami's out in front by half a game over Buffalo.
In motion, the tight end, Ronnie Lee, to give second man through. Tony Nathan, he's across midfield. It was fumbled, and I believe the officials are going to rule it down. Yes, they are. Duriel Harris came up with a loose football. Now you can look at Tony Nathan's statistics. You saw Andre Franklin's 116 rushes. There's the man who was second closest to him with only 66. So that should tell you something about the work that Mr. Franklin is getting as he leaves the ball game.
But Tony Nathan is the key, in my opinion, to this offense next to the quarterback, David Woodley, because he is so effective as a pass receiver. And we'll see him catching a lot of footballs today, or at least they're going to try to get the football to him.
Second down and 4. Near side, it is Nathan. And he's got the first down near the 40-yard line of New England. Ed Newman threw a good block, pulled from his right guard position to come around the left side. Keep your eyes on number 64.
You'll also see number 60, Jeff Taves, out there. They get a lot of people out in front, and Nathan has that good speed and acceleration. Finds a little opening and just turns it up, puts his head down, gets a nice positive gain.
9 minutes to play on the opening period here at Foxborough. It is 7-0 Patriots, and Don Shula looks on. First and 10, in motion, the tight end, Bruce Hardy. Woodley rolls right. He's looking for Hardy and overthrows him out of bounds.
What they're trying to do in this situation, Hardy's usually in there when they want to run the football. He's come in motion a few times before. What they tried to do was to lull the defense asleep, having him come across in motion and going out into the flat. But Willie just overthrew him. It was just not a well-thrown football.
In case you're looking for number 40, Michael Haynes in the Patriot backfield, you will not find him. He is in the stands today, recuperating from a collapsed lung. Put on the injured reserve list yesterday. He'll have to sit out at least 4 games. Second and 10, the ball at the 41. Play action, near side. The pass was intended, I believe,
for Duriel Harris.
Harris.
Woodley's looking over, and he's saying, what's wrong? I've been in this situation before as a receiver. Harris was out there. He got bump and run. Number 38, Roland James, came up into a bump and run, and they were going to run a quick screen to the X-man, which is the position that Harris plays. But in this situation, he knew that it wasn't going to work, and I think he was expecting an audible, but they got their wires crossed. You can see that Don Shula's not happy about that because this team does not make many mistakes.
Third and 10, Nathan and Figueredo, the running backs. Both of them can catch very, very well. Woodley, near side. He's got a man. It is Duriel Harris. And on third and 10, they've got the first down at the 25, a pickup of 16 yards. Lee chases him out of bounds.
Well, Duriel Harris has excellent moves, and this is a good example of him using those moves because he had the man on him very tight, but he just maneuvered him to the inside, came back to the sideline, and got a good throw from David Woodley.
Gene, it's surprising the discipline the second-year quarterback out of Louisiana State has with those big defensive linemen bearing down on him. He just holds his ground, takes the short drop, and waits for his receivers to clear. Right side, Nathan. He's near the 17-yard line. Jeff Towles with a good block. Steve Nelson and Ray Claiborne.
Well, both number 60, Jeff Taves, and number 64, Ed Newman, get out in front. Nathan gets that football, and he's drawing the people out to the right. He's going to wait for things to open up in the middle, and he cuts back, and he follows number 60, Jeff Taves. And look at this block by Taves. There it is. Well, he lowers the boom on Tim Fox.
Pickup of 8 yards. It's 2nd and 2 now. The ball spotted at the Patriot 17-yard line. Jimmy Stefano is out. Matt Moore is checked in. Woodley going for it. Picked off. Ray Claiborne stepped in front of the receiver. A beautiful interception. A return of 38 yards out to the 43, and the Patriots have the football.
There were 2 keys to that interception. Woodley threw the ball too late because his receiver Harris was already in his cut. He got an excellent break on the ball by Claiborne. He reads that play. As soon as that man cuts, he knows it's not going to deep. Comes up, picks off the interception, and Claiborne is an outstanding quarterback and shows an example of why he's an all-pro performer. Sideline talking to his quarterback, David Woodley. And I'm sure he's telling them, when you're down in this situation, you're throwing the football out to the flat. You have to be very careful to deliver that football on time. You can't be late, because a good quarterback, a cornerback, will pick it off, as Claiborne did.
In motion, the tight end, Lynn Dawson, 2 tight ends for New England on 1st and 10. Grogan, crossing pattern right over the middle to Tony Collins. He was wide open and simply dropped the ball. Let's go back to that interception. I'll tell you, you won't find the timing any more perfect than that when you're talking about a defensive back, Gene.
Well, as you can see, the receiver was already in his cut, and even if he had caught this football, it would have been close to being out of bounds. And as I mentioned before, Ray Claiborne made an excellent read when he saw that receiver breaking to the sideline, and you're that close to the goal line, you're obviously not going to turn up. So once he broke, he was going full head of steam, and he picked it off.
2nd and 10, 7:38 to play, 1st period. Near side, the give is to Collins. And he gained possibly 2. He's across the 45-yard line. Doug Fetters, the defensive end, was there to bring him down. Number 75. Take a look at another score at RFK Stadium in Washington. The Redskins out in front of the Detroit Lions, 7-0. Joe Washington, a 6-yard run. It is 3rd and 8. Collins, Andy Johnson, the running backs. From the shotgun, Grogan. He's got a man. It is number 32, Andy Johnson. Tony Roan is there to bring him down. He'll be short of the 1st down by about 3 yards.
Well, the fans are saying, go for it again, go for it again. The Patriots seem to have everything going for them, but they decided they're going to punt this one away. Jumped out to a lead. I don't think they want to give it back too early.
Well, they already converted on one 4th down situation deep in their own into the playing field. And right after Grogan dove for the couple of inches he needed, he tossed a 76-yard touchdown pass to Stanley Morgan. And that's where we are. It is 7-0 New England, 6:11 to play, 1st period. Rich Camarillo will kick it away. Look at that average, 46.5 yards. A good one. And Vigorito will let it carry into the end zone, a touchback. So Miami will have the football at their own 20-yard line following a 47-yard punt. We have a good one here, and we'll be back to bring more of it to you in just a moment. The telecast about the tremendous number of similarities between these two teams.
Well, they're very similar, as you can see in the yardage situation, but the most important factor is what's on top. You look at those records. Miami's 6-2-1, and New England is 2-7, and I think primarily because of the turnovers they've had. I think when you look at the turnover ratio, New England, I think, is -11, and Miami is +1. A team like Dallas, I think, is +12.
1st and 10, Miami from their own 20. The Dolphins trail 7-0. Andra Franklin right through the right side. It is Steve Nelson who brings him down. Nelson just back from a separated shoulder.
Miami's offensive line continues to do a good job. You can see number 84, Bruce Hardy, who comes in motion. As soon as the ball is snapped, he comes inside and gives the center, Mark Denard, a little help. This ball team, what they want to do on offense is that they want to win on first down, which means just 4 or more yards. You can see they continue to do that. In their last drive, they did it, got all the way down to about the 15-yard line or so when they turned it over on the interception.
Eddie Hill and Tony Nathan, the running back. Now Woodley pressure, screen right side. It is Hill. And he is hammered to the ground out across the 30-yard line by Rod Schote. But not before he picks up a Miami first down. Let's take a look at some other scores around the league. Minnesota, the Vikes lead the Buccaneers 3-0. Dan Meyer, a 33-yard field goal at Busch Stadium. Philadelphia and St. Louis tied 7-all. And Washington is now out in front of Detroit 10-0. Mark Mosley has added a 21-yard field goal in that one. Don Shula looking for his 200th career win here today. First and 10. Franklin. Brought down at the 43-yard line. The free safety Tim Fox comes up to wrestle him down. Now that, my friends, a good example of broken field running.
It sure is. It's a good example of speed that Andre Franklin has, too. You'll see when he goes to his right and there's nothing there because that defensive line of the Patriots is doing a good job. They're controlling the tackles in the center. He reverses his field. You'll see a good block here by number 79, John Geisler. Opens things up, and since Duriel Harris trying to get in the way, gets knocked back on his head a little bit, but at least he makes an effort.
2nd and 1, 3:47 to play. Nathan will try the right side. And he's into New England territory at the 48. Bill Matthews finally brought him down.
Well, that's what you call student body right, because they pulled everybody. They had about 4 guys out in front of Nathan on that play. Steve Nelson had a chance to slow him down, at least to stop him for a very short gain, but Nathan broke the tackle.
Gene, you talked to Steve Nelson yesterday in the locker room. Is he fully recovered from that shoulder?
He has been plagued by injuries. Not only did he have shoulder problems on both shoulders, but he has a slight ankle problem, too. But he's a gutsy player, and they want him in there, frankly, at any cost, because everybody responds to his performance.
First and 10 Dolphins. Woodley with plenty of time. Throws right over the middle, and the man he overthrew is number 81, Jimmy Cepolo. Rick Sanford was right there. As you take a look at Woodley, I don't know if you knew this, David Woodley is a Trekkie. You know what a Trekkie is? The Star Trek. Gene looked at me like, what in the world's a Trekkie? Dolphins lead this series 18-11, but they have not been able to win here since 1975. Patriots with 5 straight. Give up the middle to Andre Franklin. He's near the 40-yard line before Rick Sanford brings him down with help from Steve Nelson.
And again, a good block from number 84, Bruce Hardy, as he comes from his wing position using that 2 tight end offense, and he comes back and runs a trap block against Richard Bishop up in the middle. This football team, they love to control the football by just pounding you with their offensive line. They'll throw those short passes, and once they get you sucked up, then they'll go over the top for the bomb.
It is 3rd and 2. The ball just outside the 40-yard line. The running backs Nathan and Figueredo. Screen pass to Nathan. He drops the ball and then is hit by Ray Claiborne. So it'll be a 4th and 2 situation. And it appears as if Miami will kick it away as Tom Orez comes onto the field.
Well, you can see that Tony Nathan is disgusted with himself because he's very sure-handed. That's why they feature him in their offense. He can not only run the football, but he gets into that secondary. He's very sure-handed, and once he gets into the open field with the ball, he's very dangerous. It was wide open that time. He just took his eye off the ball before it got there.
Orez averaging just short of 41 yards a kick. He's had 14 go out of bounds inside the 20s. He knows where the sidelines are. 2:19 to play in the first period, and Orez tries to get it deep, and it'll be covered at the 3-yard line.
But Phil, I think this is going to be to no avail, because I think they're going to be guilty of holding number 56, Rod Schote. Schultz was coming close to blocking that punt, and I think he got grabbed from behind.
Ball is down at
And you've got to believe they'll have him kick it again.
The
And that
penalty is against the Dolphins.
is what it will be. So Mr. Orez will be called upon to do it once more. It is remarkable how close these teams are. We showed you the statistical comparison. Let's listen.
Number 11 offense, holding, still fourth down.
Fans at home, don't be surprised when you hear number 11. That's a quarterback number, but that's true. That's Jim Jensen. He's a quarterback, but he's so big and strong that he plays on the special teams.
Morgan back deep to receive this kick. A long count by Orez. Again, plenty of time. And this will be a relatively short one. And Morgan will field it. And takes it out of bounds across the 23-yard line. And a flag goes down. And I believe a Dolphin is going to be whistled, Gene, for hitting Morgan after he was way out of bounds.
No doubt about it. I think Stanley was beyond that big, broad white stripe down there. Everyone knew he was out, but sometimes those guys on special teams, that's the way they make the team, so they get fired up out there. As you can see, Morgan gets out of bounds right now. He's starting to relax a little bit, and there's a shot. He's at least 3 yards out of bounds when he gets hit. But as I mentioned before, a lot of these players make the football team by a good effort on special teams.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 36 on the run back. First down.
Bill, something we're seeing here is not indicative of a Miami football team. They're the ones that are making the mistakes. They had the turnover on the interception, the penalty out of bounds. It's not the way this team usually plays.
2 minutes to go in the first quarter, and we'll be back. Intended by authority of the National Football League, it is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the New England Patriots and the National Football League is prohibited. First and 10, the ball at the 40. New England has the lead, 7-0. In motion, Harold Jackson to the top of your screen. The give, left side. It is Collins. And he's got big yardage across the 45-yard line before number 77. The inside linebacker, A.J. Dewey, brings him down.
Tony Collins got some excellent blocking that time from number 75, Bob Crowder, and number 74, Shelby Jordan. You know, Shelby Jordan is a really underrated lineman. As a matter of fact, last year he rated out the best blocking lineman on this football team. When you have a guy like John Hanna on the team, that's saying something.
A.J. Dewey checked out, hurt on the play. The give is to Vegas Ferguson. He's near the midfield stripe. I believe he'll be just shy of the first down. And they're saying he got it.
Phil, New England last week out in Oakland, they only gained 77 yards all day rushing the football. And I think that was a part of their problem. As Grogan said, we had nothing we could hang our hats on all day long. They tried to go for the bomb. That didn't work. They couldn't run the football well. Today they've gotten the bomb. They're running the ball pretty well. And this offense, as we mentioned before, can explode on you. They have some great personnel in those skill positions.
In motion, Harold Jackson. Give, right side. It is Collins. Tries to turn the corner, and he does so. Dives to the 45-yard line.
John Hanna, number 73, came out there looking for someone to hit. He not only found one person, but he found two. Just an incredible block, or I should say blocks on his part. You can see him, number 73. Look at him pull out there. Collins dips inside, goes out. Look at this. There's one block by Hanna. There's another block. That's incredible. Maybe he deserved to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated as the best lineman ever.
Well, the Patriots know something about running the football. They are fourth in the AFC. 140 yards a game. Their problems have simply been in the turnover department. 2nd and 6. Grogan with time. Now unloads. Wide open. And he cannot hold on. That is Vegas Ferguson. The ball was thrown a tad bit high, but Gene, it was a pass he should have held on to.
Well, there's no question about that. The ball just went right through his hands. He didn't have to go up that high for the football. Usually what happens in this situation is that the receiver will take his eye off the ball before it gets there. And I think Vegas heard the guy behind him, was thinking about what am I going to do when I catch it. And he didn't take care of the business, number one, and that's catching the football and putting it away.
The Patriots with two new running backs as you look at their third down efficiency. shotgun. The running backs, Johnson and Tatupu. Brogan. He has got Johnson. A 36-yard pickup to the 10-yard line.
We said that this offense can explode on you anytime they get the ball to their man they want to in this passing situation. Number 32, Andy Johnson. And you can see on the left side of your screen, number 55, the man who was supposed to be guarding him fell down. That was Ernie Rome.
And the first quarter has come to an end with the Patriots threatening once more. A 36-yard pass from Grogan to Andy Johnson. They are in beautiful position to add to their 7-0 lead. We'll be back in just a moment.
Seems to be working for the Patriots. They're way out front. Look at the passing yardage, 128 to 32 for the Dolphins.
146 yards to 96. A 50-yard edge for the Patriots. Give, left side. It is Collins. He's going to be slammed down for a loss out near the 18-yard line. It is Gerald Small, the right corner, who's there to make the stop. Fourth-year man out of San Jose State.
Collins made a mistake that time that a young player will make. When you get close down to that goal line, you don't want to give up yardage the other way. When he was coming to his left, he saw that he had no room. He tried to outrun the guy, Gerald Small, to the outside, but Small has an awful lot of speed, and he gave up another 6 yards or so and ended up with a 6-yard loss. And that's a mistake that a young player will make. A veteran player will take a shorter loss and continue to head towards that goal line.
It is second down and 17 in motion. It is Jackson. Brogan. Right over the middle. It is Don Hasselbeck with his first reception of the day. He's back up to the original line of scrimmage, which was the 10-yard line, before Steve Shull brings him down.
Hasselbeck has 4 games over 100 yards. As you can see, gets into that middle, and he's trying to read the open zone. And there's number 52, who's sitting back, trying to make the action happen in front of him. Comes up for the stop, and that's Steve Shull, number 52.
Third and goal from the 10. The Dolphins now with 5 defensive backs. Small, Blackwood, Veselu, Glenn Blackwood, and Don McNeil. Brogan will put it up again. Plenty of time. Now goes for it. Flag goes down. Don McNeil almost picked it off in the end zone. A flag is down at the 5-yard line.
The early indication is that it's going to be against the Patriots.
And it is.
Pass interference. I think the signal was pass interference, offensive pass interference. There's a little guessing game going on down there. The Dolphins ended up double covering the tight end, Hasselbeck, and Jackson ended up man-on-man.
I believe the call's against Don Hasselbeck. Let's listen.
Number 80 offense, interference, penalty refused, 4th down.
It is now 4th and goal. Hasselbeck whistled. Watch him right here, number 80.
Oh, a little pick play, little basketball pick play. Just got his, if he'd stayed still, I don't think he would have gotten the call, but he just moved a little bit as the linebacker was trying to get by.
Well, he's big enough to pull a pick play. 6'7", 245 pounds. So John Smith is on to try and make it a 10-0 game. He has 9 of 14 in the field goal department. From Matt Cavanaugh's hold, it is up. And it is perfect. So with 13 minutes, 17 seconds to play here in the second period, the New England Patriots jinx continues over the Miami Dolphins.
Phil Stone.
Phil Stone and Gene Washington from Schaefer Stadium in Foxborough, where the Patriots have just taken a 10-0 lead. John Smith to kick it away. It is Fulton Walker at the 10. And he is tripped up as he crosses the 30-yard line. Number 51, Bob Golick, tripped him. And let's take a look at some scores around the league. Green Bay stuffing it out over the Giants, 17-0 in the second quarter. Washington over Detroit, 10-7. Eric Hipple to Freddie Scott, a 36-yarder, has brought the Lions back. First and 10, Dolphins, as they try to get things untracked. Woodley, 3 for 9 thus far today, 32 yards and 1 interception. That coming from Ray Claiborne. In motion, the tight end, Hardy. Woodley rolls right, now unloads it. The intended receiver was Hardy, and he simply overthrew him. Don't forget to stay with us after this game is concluded for the second half of today's doubleheader. Many of you will see Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen in San Diego, where the Cincinnati Bengals and the San Diego Chargers will square off in a battle of the division leaders. That one should be a great ball game. Speaking of great ball games, we have another one right here. The Patriots, 2-7, are leading the Dolphins with 13:04 to play in the second period. It is 10-0. Second and 10, give right up the middle. It is Andra Franklin. He fights his way out near the 38-yard line. Rick Sanford brings him down.
The Patriots are going to have to find some defense for this play. The Dolphins continue to bring number 84, Bruce Hardy, from his wing position as double tight end back across the line. And he comes in and makes that trap block. We can see number 48, Tim Fox, sitting back there, who's the leading tackler on this team. Comes up, gets in on the action, but there's number 64, Ed Newman, doing a good job.
Tim Fox, a gutsy performer, 5'11", 190 pounds. He said before this game that if the Dolphins thought they were going to come in here and cakewalk, they were in for a big, big disappointment. That is Tony Nathan, and he's near the midfield stripe. A first down for Miami. Nathan averaging an incredible 6.7 yards a carry.
He's a tremendous athlete. We mentioned before about his receiving ability. He's a good all-around athlete. He's a tough ball player. He has the ability to run inside and outside. And more importantly, now in the day of the pass, when people are throwing the football, he can get out into that secondary, and he has good hands, and he's about the size of a wide receiver, so he's very maneuverable.
First and 10 across the right side. It is the man we were talking about again, Tony Nathan. A pickup of 3. Tony McGee was there to bring him down. An absolutely splendid day for a football game in the New England area. A bit unusual for this late in the year. We are November 8th, and it is 52 degrees. Who would ever have believed it? I brought my snowshoes and my goggles and mittens for no reason. Second and 8. Woodley. Sideline pattern. He's got a man. It is Jeriel Harris. A first down at the Patriots 35.
Bill, in contrast to the interception that Woodley had, this football was thrown on time. Woodley dropped back, made the proper read, and threw the ball before Jeriel Harris got into his break, and there's no way for the defender to stop that play. An excellent throw on the part of David Woodley.
Indeed it was. Woodley completing 54% of his passes this year. That one good for 15 yards. A.J. Dewey, the inside linebacker from Miami, was hit in the eye earlier, and he may not return. First and 10. Flare pass left side. It is Nathan, and he's out of bounds near the 30-yard line. It is Rod Choate who literally grabbed him and tossed him to the sidelines.
Nathan is still down on the sideline. He made a good move to get away from number 38, Roland James, after he caught that football in a little flare. As you can see here, watch this move that he makes there to get away from Roland James. Gets over to the sideline and takes a good shot from Rod Choate. I think he may have landed on his elbow.
Now Nathan is still down near the 30-yard line on the far side. And if the Dolphins would by chance lose Tony Nathan today, as we've talked earlier, Gene, he is a big part of their offense, and they would certainly be affected by his loss.
That's for sure, and it appears as though the jinx is continuing to work.
We'll be back in just a moment.
Sideline with that ice bag in his hand, and you can see that he's holding it up to his eye, and I'm sure what happened is that he got a thumb or a fist or something underneath his face mask. He probably has blurred vision.
Second down and 5, the lone setback, Andra Franklin. Woodley wants to put it in the air, crossing pattern to Cepolo. And Cepolo has a first down at the Patriots' 13-yard line before Tim Fox wrestles him to the ground.
Tim Fox making the defensive stop.
Cepolo earned every bit of this. As you can see, Woodley's dropping back. You can't see it on the right side of your screen, but Cepolo is fighting off one defender, comes to the inside, and goes up high to make a good catch. And he beat double coverage in this situation because Ray Claiborne was right up on the line of scrimmage with him. He beat Claiborne to the inside, then got into the middle, and Woodley delivered the football there for a strike and a completion.
And a pickup of 18 yards, 10-12 to play in the second quarter. Woodley, a quarterback roll right, and he will gain possibly a yard. Tim Fox shot the gap and did a great job of bringing him down.
But, Phil, that was a miscue. That was a broken play. It was not planned that way. There's Nathan on the sideline, and you can see, watching this replay, there it is. I think Schote got him in the eye, his arm coming up underneath. I think he'll be back in the ball game. When you get hit in the eye like that, sometimes you get momentary blurriness, but it goes away after a while, and I'm sure that they want to get him back in there as soon as possible.
The Dolphins with a 2nd and 8 situation. You get a good look at Woodley. The lone setback is Eddie Hill. And they give it to Hill. He tries the left side. He's inside the 10. Roland James, Steve Nelson are both there. Take a look at a couple of scores quickly around the league. At Houston, the Oilers are ahead of Oakland 3-0. A 23-yard field goal by Tony Fritsch. Minnesota over Tampa Bay 6-3. A couple of Dan Meyer field goals. Philadelphia and St. Louis tied. Jim Hart to Mel Gray, 41-yard pass. Brings the Cardinals back. Washington continues to lead the Lions 10-7. And Green Bay way out in front over the Giants 20-0. 8 minutes, 46 seconds to play in the second quarter. It is 3rd and 4 from the 7. Woodley wants Harris. Check that. That is Tony Nathan. And he could not hold on at the 3-yard line as Ray Claiborne was there.
New England has been looking for this play. They know that they're going to feature Nathan. He comes out. Nathan has an option to go either way, inside or outside, but they had him pinched in between. They had a player to the inside, a player to the outside. Nathan dropped that football. He may be still bothered by the vision of getting that fist in the eye because, as I mentioned before, he's a very sure-handed receiver. When you get down inside the 20 like that, you can't afford to drop footballs.
Uwe van Schamen will try this one from 24 yards out, and it is perfect. And oddly enough, van Schamen is now 9 for 9 against the New England Patriots. So Miami is finally on the board at 8:31 of the second quarter. It is the Patriots 10, Miami 3. The second half of today's NFL doubleheader featuring the surprising Bengals taking on the Chargers and the Cleveland Browns beat the Denver Broncos. Most of you will see the Jets and Baltimore. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Coming up next right here on NBC. Van Schamen kicks it away. And it carries into the end zone. I believe Ken Toller will down it, and he does. Oh, the Patriots will have the ball beginning at their own 20-yard line as we take a look at the standings in the AFC West once more. The Dolphins 6-2-1, a must-win situation because Buffalo plays tomorrow night. You can bet they're watching this game with a great deal of interest. The Jets 4-4, New England 2-7. However, the Patriots have yet to be blown out of a ball game. They come so close week in and week out. And they are not only close here today, they are leading the front-running Dolphins. Grogan 5 of 8, 135 yards and 1 touchdown. And he's going to try and add to that on a play action. Near side. He's got a man. It is number 86, Stanley Morgan. A reception at the 32-yard line.
Grogan using his play action. We mentioned before that they want to establish their run, and when you establish your run, this is what happens. When you go to play action, you hold those linebackers in, and you'll see when this football is thrown, There's no linebacker out underneath who can take this play away. Gerald Small has to respect the speed of Stanley Morgan, so he's not going to play Morgan very tight at all.
The running backs, Vegas Ferguson, Sam Cunningham. And the give is to Cunningham. He's across the 35-yard line. 8 minutes, 10 seconds to play in the first half here at Foxborough. Boy, you've got to go way back to 1975 before you can find a last Miami Dolphin victory. 76, it was 30-14. 77, 14-10. 78, 33-24. 2 years ago, it was 28-13. Last year, 34-0. New England, the victor in all of those games.
New England plays well at home anyway against everyone. They're 31-11 since 1976 at home. They could just win a few more on the road. They'd be in pretty good shape.
Now they're 0-5 on the road. Grogan, man open. And the man he was looking for was his running back, Tony Collins.
Tony's having his problems holding on to the football today. He just can't seem to find the handle. Grogan had him open underneath the linebackers. The linebackers had taken deep drops. Collins had done a little delay and come underneath and was wide open. Just couldn't hold on to the football.
Another score from the Astrodome. Chris Barr has just booted a 29-yard field goal to offset Tony Fritch's. It is 3-3 now, Oakland and the Oilers. Steve Grogan, 54% of his passes completed this year from the shotgun on 3rd and 6. Right down the middle, he has gone in. Morgan, and he's got it and down at the 29. Gerald Small is there to finally bring him down. Another perfectly thrown football, Gene.
Well, Stanley Morgan has Gerald Small in his hip pocket, so to speak. Although to Small's defense, he knows that he has help deep in the middle. He's trailing, trying to take away the underneath throw. But Stanley Morgan has such tremendous speed that once he goes inside and maneuvers the man inside and breaks out, his acceleration will separate him from the defensive back by 2 or 3 yards, and that's what happened on that play.
First and 10. The ball is given to Cunningham. He tries the left side. Look at him play. And Cunningham, Gene, is coming off a hamstring. You wonder what he'd be like without the hamstring injury.
Well, you can see that he's not running as fluidly as he usually does, but when he comes in the middle and makes contact, just like at that point right there, he lowers the boom, and they don't call him Sam the Bam for nothing.
We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
This is WCKT, Channel 7, Miami.
And 2, the ball just outside the 20, and flags fly. Now, the way the Dolphins were coming, it's got to be a false start. Listen to this.
False start, 75 offense.
Bob Kreider, a little anxious. Don't want to make that mistake in this situation. You get the ball down there, inside the other team's 20-yard line. Don't want to make any mistakes. These are the problems that have plagued this football team, but today they're not making mistakes. Things seem to be going their way.
So now, instead of a 2nd and 2 situation, it is 2nd and 7. The ball on the 26. 6:09 to play, second quarter. 10-3. The give is to Collins across the right side. Collins dives inside the 5. First and goal, Patriots. And Collins will come out of the ball game. Vegas Ferguson checks in.
You'll get a good example of Tony Collins' speed as he hits inside. There's nothing there, bounces outside, and just completely outruns number 47, Glenn Blackwood, and almost gets it into the end zone. Turns his shoulder down, but ends up about 3 yards shy.
The wide receivers, Harold Jackson and Don Westbrook. Give right up the gut. It is Ferguson for a couple. Let's go to New York, Studio 6A for an update.
Okay, Phil, thank you. Some action from Houston's Astrodome, leading 3-0. The Oilers allowed the Raiders to get back in the ball game when John Reese fumbled the snap and the Raiders came up with it. It led to a tying 29-yard field goal. But in the ensuing kickoff, Willie Tullis took it back 59 yards to set the Oilers up in business to take the lead once again. They're now inside the 5, and the game's tied at 3. Phil?
Thank you very much, Brian. I'll tell you, when the Oilers and Raiders get together, they really shoot it out. Second and goal. It is Cunningham, and he is nailed at the 4-yard line. The man shooting through, the big nose tackle, Bob Baumauer, the 5th man out of Alabama.
He really shot through there. I think he made the center miss because the way things happened, he was in the backfield as soon as the ball was handed off to Sam Cunningham. Made an outstanding play.
For the Patriots, they now have 3 tight ends in the ball game. Keep your eyes on number 58. He is usually the center. He's lined up at the bottom of your screen right next to Lynn Dawson, another tight end. Lynn Kaitis goes into snap. Grogan rolls right. Touchdown for the Patriots.
He really takes a shot here. John Hanna's out in front looking for someone to block. He stops and pulls up. Grogan goes up, and boy, what a shot he takes. Ooh! Take a look at this shot that Grogan takes as he tries to get into that end zone. Ooh!
Number 28, the man applying the hammer, was the corner, Don McNeil. And the Patriots are really laying it on Miami. 16-3 with 4:33 to play in the first half. John Smith is on to try and make it a 17-3 ball game. Matt Cavanaugh will put it down. Flags fly, the ball is down, and there is no indication.
Bill, we mentioned before about the fact that this New England ball team can explode at any point. And that's what they're doing today on offense.
Defense offside. Will penalize on the kickoff. Point is good.
So John Smith converts his 25th field goal attempt in 26 tries. And it is good for a 17-3 lead. The Patriots over the Dolphins. And the surprises continue around the National Football League on this, the 10th Sunday. Boy, it seems hard to believe we are this far along already as John Smith puts his foot to it. At the 8, it is Fulton Walker. And what a return before he is finally brought down by the wide receiver, Ken Toller.
Walker ran through 4 or 5 tackles. Take a look at this as he goes for a 53-yard return, and he gets the Dolphins back in this on one play. Look at this, running through tackles. People are trying to arm tackle him, but he's so strong, he's not going to be brought down by just an arm tackle.
Tatupu had the best shot at him back at about the 27-yard line. As you said, Gene, you cannot bring Fulton Walker down with an arm tackle. Great field position for Miami at the Patriot 40-yard line. Franklin and Hill, the running backs. Little sideline pattern to Duriel Harris. He'll pick up about 7 yards before he's chased out of bounds by Ray Claiborne.
Again, that little short, quick-out pattern. It's a bread-and-butter pattern for the Dolphins. The receiver goes about 6 yards downfield and a little quick out. If this football is delivered on time, the only person who can stop it is a linebacker. And there was no linebacker out there. It was a completion.
There's a look at the scoring drive. 9 plays, covering 80 yards, capped by Steve Grogan's 3-yard sweep around the right side. It is 17-3 New England. Lone running back, the rookie out of Nebraska, Andra Franklin. Woodley for Harris, and he overthrew him. Woodley with pressure could not get it away.
Bill, it appears as though the Patriots are calling the right defensive signals at the right time. Because what happened in that situation again, as it happened before, number 38, Roland James, was up in a bump and run situation. The Dolphins had a quick screen call to Duriel Harris, but there's no place for Harris to go because he doesn't want the quarterback to throw the football out there when the defender's in bump and run because he might pick it off.
Third down and 3. The ball at the 33. Woodley 6 for 15 for 71 yards and an interception. Pitch right side. It is Eddie Hill, and he's across the 30-yard line for a first down before Bill Matthews, the inside linebacker on the right side, brings him down.
Bill, we've heard an awful lot about the running of Andre Franklin, but he's quite a blocker. Coming out of Nebraska where he blocked for Red Wine and Hip, he delivers a blow, keeps those shoulders low, uses good leverage, and when he hits you, you know you've been tagged.
Miami brings in the 2 tight ends now, Ronnie Lee and Bruce Hardy. There's a good look at David Woodley. Here comes Franklin, sweep left. He's inside the 20, the whistle sounds, the ball pops loose. Now the officials correctly indicate the fumble occurred after the whistle. Miami retains possession now at the 18-yard line. Bill Matthews again in on the stop.
The rule is that if the running back or the receiver is down when the ball pops loose, it's a dead ball. As you can see on this replay, the excellent camera work shows that he was already down when the ball popped out. Tim Fox is fighting for it, but to no avail.
2 minutes, 56 seconds to play here in the first half at Schaefer Stadium. It is 17-3, New England. 2nd and 4. Woodley wants to put it up. Right over the middle. It is the tight end, Hardy, and he's down at the 11-yard line. Bill Matthews, for the 3rd consecutive play, is in on the stop. We have certainly called Mr. Matthews' number on this series.
Well, he's been very active, and we mentioned before Steve Nelson is playing, but he still suffers from some nagging injuries. His ankle is bothering him a little bit. Nelson is usually a guy who's all over the field, usually leads the team in tackles, but Matthews is going to have to pick up some of the slack, and as you said, you called his name an awful lot, which means he's all around the football and a very active player.
1st and 10, the ball at the 12. Give right side. It is Eddie Hill, 3rd-year man out of Memphis State. And he carries it to the 9-yard line. Nose tackle Richard Bishop cuts his legs out from under him. Mark Denard, the center for the Miami Dolphins. We'll talk about him in just a moment. We'll be back. It's the 2-minute warning. Problems this year, and his counterpart, Don Shula. Capacity crowd on hand here at Schaefer Stadium. Was commenting before we broke away. Mark Denard, his family really gets up for these New England games. Last year in that 2nd game in Miami, his wife, after watching that game, a 16-13 sudden death victory for the Dolphins, gave birth to their baby. Really get into this ball game. 2nd and 7. Woodley wants to put it up. Near side to the tight end. It is Ronnie Lee, and he is down at the 8-yard line. No gain on the play whatsoever. Ray Claiborne is the one who slapped him down. Gene, the tight ends do not figure very prominently in the Miami offensive attack.
Well, they like to have tight ends who can block. That's a key to them. And they have guys, Ronnie Lee and Bruce Hardy, who are very good blockers. And they go into a passing situation, they'll usually bring in number 80, Joe Rose. In that last situation, the Patriots were faking the blitz. And I think what they caused Woodley to do was to change his play at the line of scrimmage. And I think he went with an audible. They like to throw quick slant ends down in this area.
This is a big play for the Dolphins. 3rd and 8. They're going for it, and it is almost picked off. They were looking for Nat Moore. Woodley almost found Timmy Fox. So the Dolphins, who needed a touchdown desperately with 1:50 to play in the first half, will have to go for the almost certain 3 here.
Well, it's important for them to score some points in this situation. They've had some drives where they've moved the football down the field, but they've turned it over on interceptions. They're going to go into halftime. They need to have something positive to go in with. But you know that any time that you're playing against a Don Shula football team, they're not going to give up by any means. But this score is important to the football team.
Von Schaumann from 27, it is good. So Von Schaumann is now 10 for 10 against the Patriots. A minute 47 to play in the first half. It is now New England 17, Miami 6.
Bill, take a look at that fan. He got the bag over his head. I'm sure they don't consider themselves the Aints, particularly not today.
You don't suppose he's carrying his lunch there, do you? Von Schaumann kicks it deep, 4 yards deep to be exact. Toller is there, and he'll down it. No way you're going to bring that one out, particularly with a 17-6 lead with a minute 47 seconds to play in the first half. Next week on NBC Sports World, 2 up-and-coming middleweights square off in Atlantic City. Undefeated power puncher Alex Ramos meets aggressive Norberto Sabater in a 10-round bout, plus a battle of biceps. Some strong-willed women meet in World Professional Wrist Wrestling. That's all next Saturday at 4 Eastern Time on NBC Sports World. The Patriots with the football at their own 20-yard line. Brogan has done a marvelous job thus far today. In motion, Harold Jackson to the bottom of your screen. The give, near side, it is Collins. And he's got still another first down out near the 33.
There was just a huge hole on that play. Collins ran through there. There was no one there. He ran up the field about 4 yards before he even encountered a defender.
Coming up at halftime, scores and highlights from all around the National Football League today. And the surprises continue on this Week 10. The give is to Collins again. He spins, fumble. And the Dolphins have the football. We talked about the similarities of these ball clubs, and it has been the turnovers which have killed the Patriots.
Again, Tony Collins makes a mistake that a young player will sometimes do. When you're in the situation, you have to be aware of what's going on the field. There's only a minute and 6 left. You don't turn the football over here. They're trying to keep possession of the football, trying to keep it away from the Dolphins. The Dolphins are an opportunistic team. They've taken this football over on a turnover, and I'll bet you they're going to try to put this ball in the end zone, and they may do it on the first play. When you get a team down, go for the big one. Put it in the end zone.
That was the 32nd New England turnover this year. Don McNeil recovered it for the Patriots, and a big recovery it was because Miami needs some points, and they need it in a hurry. 1:06 to play before intermission, and Woodley wants to put it up. A screen pass to Nick Giaquino. And he carries the ball inside the 35-yard line. That is only Giaquino's 7th reception all year. Mike Hawkins bumps him out. Giaquino, a second-year man out of the University of Connecticut.
Number 84, Bruce Hardy, the tight end, is checked back in, and he usually comes in situations when they're going to run the ball. Unless Joe Rose is injured, in a passing situation, they like to have him in there. Maybe what they're going to do is try to position themselves for the field goal.
Woodley, 9 of 19, 1 interception. Faced now in a 2nd and 5 situation, 59 seconds to play. Pressure, unloads it, and he hit Eddie Hill right in the hands. Steve Nelson was there to defend, but Eddie Hill should have caught the football.
We've been saying that all game long in the first half. None of the running backs for either team can seem to hold on to the football. He goes right across the middle on a little delay. The football hits him right in the hands. Can't hold on. 55
seconds to play here in the first half. Don't forget at halftime, Bryant Gumbel with all the scores and highlights on NFL 81. 3rd and 5. Big play for Miami. Pressure. Fumbles the ball. And the Patriots have it.
Tony Mac-the-Sack McGee comes in there and does something that this team has not done very much of, and that's put pressure on the quarterback. But they get the job done this time. There's McGee. He's got the football between his legs, and he's saying, I've got it, and nobody else is going to take it away from me.
Well, that is Miami's second turnover today. McGee sacks Woodley and then throws him away and recovers the football. Great play by Mack, the sack. 48 seconds to play. And let's see if Grogan once more. It looks like he does. Takes a deep drop. Little screen pass to Cunningham. Good move by the 8-year veteran. He knew what the situation was. He wanted to get out of bounds to stop the clock. Larry Gordon is there to help him along.
Larry Gordon bringing Cunningham out of bounds.
So many young players, Gene, I think, lose track of the situation out there. Time running out. They've got the football. You don't want to spend a timeout. You want to get out of bounds.
Well, you have to be aware of what's going on in the game. Sam Cunningham, a veteran player, he knows the situation. I'm sure Grogan told him that we're going to try to get down and try to get a field goal. So when you come into some interference, get out of bounds, because we want to take a shot for a field goal. And I think that's what they're trying to do now. I don't think they're going to try to get it all the way down for a touchdown. I think they're trying to get the field goal.
38 seconds to play in the first half. Grogan takes his drop right over the middle, and he has got a receiver again. It is Sam Bam Cunningham, a first down at the 42. 32 seconds to play. The clock is stopped. Take a look at Cunningham.
Both teams in this situation are going to be playing the clock. The Dolphins are not going to let them throw anything deep. The linebackers are going to get good deep drops, force the Patriots to throw underneath and come up to make the tackle. That's going to be their game plan on defense. There they are on the sidelines. There's Ron Earhart with his quarterback, and they're trying to decide what they want to do. They'd love to get a shot at a field goal here. But the one thing they don't want to do is they don't want to get careless, put the ball in the air, and let the...
196 yards and a touchdown. You can't be much better than that.
That's not too shabby.
And as we've said all day long, the Patriots' problem has not been in moving the football. They're fourth in rushing, fourth in passing, second overall in the conference. Their problems have simply been in the turnover department. They're certainly scoring enough points to win. New England averaging 23 points, but they've been giving up 23.3. First and 10, 32 seconds to play. Grogan right over the middle to Hasselbeck. He cannot hold on as he is hammered down. At the 35, the man is Larry Gordon, who spills Don Hasselbeck. I gotta believe he's not that easy to pick up.
Larry Gordon is a good athlete, and spills him may not be the word. He stuffs him here. Hasselbeck goes up, gets his hands on the football, and then he bobbles a little bit and tries to catch it, and he gets stuffed. Look at this tackle by Larry Gordon. He catches Hasselbeck up in the air, gets his shoulders underneath. Watch this stuff. Ooh.
Hasselbeck 6'7", 245. Gordon 6'4", 230. Second in a bunch. 25 seconds to play. He's picked off. Bob Brzezinski intercepts Grogan and is out of bounds at the 45.
Bill, that's just what I said they didn't want to happen. Fortunately for the Patriots, one of the linebackers picked it off, and not a defensive back. The interesting thing about this, Bob Brzezinski, who's normally taken out in passing situations, is the guy who comes up with the interception. Goes up high and makes a good catch of the football, and does a nifty bit of running after that. Look at this. He's following his blockers, gets to the sideline, gets out of bounds.
So the Dolphins now have an opportunity thanks to this man, number 59, Brzezinski. He was acquired from the Los Angeles Rams. Second and third round draft choice. First and 10. Woodley needs some points. Double pump. He's going for it. And the man he was looking for is Duriel Harris. And it is incomplete. He gets horse-collared back there by Roland James. 9 seconds to play in the first half.
Harris was only outnumbered 3-1. He should have caught that one, right? There are only 3 defenders around him.
That stops the clock with 9 seconds to play. Don't forget, Bryant Gumbel will be here in just a few moments. highlights, scores from all around the NFL. Second and 10. 7 seconds, 6 seconds. Woodley got a man right over the middle, and he cannot hold on. It is Elmer Bailey, Duriel Harris's backup, the second-year man out of Minnesota. And that's the fourth time I can remember today that the Dolphin receivers have just dropped the football.
Football hitting them right in between the numbers. People talk about the jinx as we take a look at Coach Shula on the sideline, and he must be thinking about that too. What can the quarterback do except get the football there? But the receivers are not holding on to it.
Woodley 9 for 22 for 84 yards. He should probably be about 14 or 15 for 22. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. This will be the last play. Woodley's going to go for it all.
Interception.
It is intercepted. Ray Claiborne's second interception today as time expires. Ron Earhart has to be an awfully happy man as head coach of these New England Patriots. They lead it here at halftime, 17-6.
The Patriots are trailing and rushing, but they haven't needed to get the big rush because they've gotten the big bomb from Stanley Morgan on that big touchdown.
What's amazing about that passing statistic, the Dolphins with only 75 yards, they are averaging 235 yards through the air. So they are certainly not getting it done in the passing department here today. The total yards, look at that, 272, 262 to 184. Passing, Grogan 9 for 16, Woodley 10 of 24. And the Patriots, who have been the team plagued by turnovers all year long, it is the Dolphins who have turned the ball over 3 times today. And as you take a look at Don Shula, well, when you go back a few years, 1972-73, a combined record of 32-2, 2 Super Bowl wins. Somebody asked him earlier this week, what would make him the happiest of everything he's accomplished in pro football? And Don responded, to win the world title for the 3rd time. And there's Ron Earhart, who has been asking himself Sunday in and Sunday out, why aren't we winning?
Well, they're doing pretty well here in the first half. They have an offense, as we mentioned before, that can just explode on you. They have outstanding people at the skill positions. They've turned it loose in the first half.
Von Schaumann to Toller at the goal line. Toller breaks the tackle at the 22. He's out across the 32. And good field position for New England. Ken Toller's a wide receiver by trade.
Well, he runs with this football like a running back. He catches it about 1 yard in the end zone, and he comes out. Look, he breaks a tackle there. That's tough running, particularly by a wide receiver.
A rookie out of Ole Miss.
No, they would have had a hard time getting me running back a kickoff like that, weighing about 180 pounds, running up against those big guys.
First and 10, the ball on the 32 as we begin the 3rd quarter. The give is right up the middle. It is Tony Collins who slashes his way out near the 40.
That offensive line of the Patriots doing a good job as they ran a little trap action up the middle. John Hanna, Bob Kreider, 2 outstanding guards. And that's what they're going to have to do in this second half if they're going to continue to be effective on offense. The offensive linemen, they're the key. Those guys have to give the quarterback time to throw the football, and they have to put him in the positions to be able to be effective. Look at Sam Cunningham breaking loose there.
A flag goes down as Cunningham is thrown out of bounds. A good pickup. I think it'll be nullified by a holding call, though. As you look at Sam Cunningham, that effort will be for naught. It is against New England. Let's listen to who got whistled.
73 offense, holding, still second down.
You don't suppose that could be true?
Big John Hanna. As we take a look down in the pits, you can see that ferocious blocking going down in there. There's Sam the Bam. He gets Caught by the shirt tails and pulled out of bounds.
Lyle Blackwood is the one who threw him out. It is now second down and 13. The ball at the 29. Grogan with time. Right over the middle. He's got Hasselbeck. And he's got enough for the first down out near the 44-yard line. It is Lyle Blackwood on the stop, a pickup of 16 yards. What a job Don Hasselbeck has done this year coming in for the retired Russ Francis. There had to be an enormous amount of pressure on this guy.
I'm sure there was, and he came in after only a couple of weeks of practice and started in the first game. So we take a look as Hasselbeck goes downfield, makes a nice head fake, gets into the middle, and the key was that Grogan had the time. His offensive line gave him time to sit back there, read the defense, and find his receiver.
Harold Jackson in motion. A quick give right up the middle. And pick up about 4. It is Sam Cunningham. 13 minutes, 26 seconds to play here in the third period. Tony Collins checks back into the game. You know, Collins, right now, Gene, the rookie out of East Carolina, a much better running back than he was at the beginning of the year, because I think he's now waiting for his blockers to open the holes. Instead, I think earlier he was a bit anxious getting to those holes.
Well, if you play enough, you're going to learn by making mistakes. And any young player is going to get better with the more experience he has. 2nd and 6. Look at the time Grogan has.
And it goes to Collins. He is across midfield.
Phil, it's interesting the tactic that the Patriots are taking now. They're known for their big plays. They came with a big touchdown in the first half to Morgan. But what they're doing now is they're being very patient. They're taking those short passes underneath the coverage of the linebackers. They're running the football. What they're trying to do now is to establish control of the football on offense so that they eat up that clock. They're out in front. They want to make the Dolphins take it away from them. They don't want to give it up.
It is 3rd and 2. The Patriots with the football. 5 defensive backs for Miami. Grogan, little slant to the sideline. Hasselbeck. He cannot hold on. He was hassled by Gerald Small. Steve Grogan will come out. A punting situation now for the Patriots. Rich Camarillo will come in as you look at Hasselbeck. He's upset with himself. He knew he should have held on. Camarillo. Look at that. A 75-yard punt last week against the Raiders. One bouncer. He holds on and gets a boomer. And what a punt. So, 12:04 to play in the third period. We'll be back in just a moment. Washington from Foxborough, Massachusetts. 12:04 to play here in the third period. And the Patriots are leading this one 17-6. They came into this ball game, depending on who you listen to, a 1 to 1.5 point favorite against the division-leading Dolphins. You figure that one out. Out near the 18-yard line. Rick Sanford, the strong safety, pulls up to bring him down.
Beautiful blocking by the line for the Dolphins. They cleared a hole through there that was just wide open for Nathan. Took the football, ran up in there. There was no one there. Not until he met the linebackers about 3 or 4 yards off the line of scrimmage. Bill, in this situation, the Dolphins have a long way to go for a score. But if they're going to establish, you know, a cliche word we use, momentum, but it's awfully important. If they're going to get the momentum going for them, they have to have a nice sustained drive in the typical Miami fashion. And if they do that, then they'll tend to wear down the Patriot defense.
Sideline pattern to Duriel Harris. He sheds one tackler, and he's out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Tim Fox is the man who finally bumped him out. A pickup of 24 yards.
Roland James, the cornerback for the Patriots, he thought he had Harris on the sideline. As you'll see, Harris catches his football, but he ducks underneath. Watch this. There's a shot to the head. Harris ducks underneath, gets away, and turns up, gains about another 12 yards or so.
A first down for the Dolphins. As you look at Duriel Harris's career statistics, averaging 17.5 yards a reception. This year alone, he's up near 20 yards. Nathan, the lone running back, on 1st and 10. And they give it to Nathan. And he dances and spins his way out near midfield. We'll be back in just a moment. Let's go right now to New York.
Okay, Phil Stone, thank you very much. In the Astrodome, the Raiders are threatening. Kenny King finds a big opening on the left side and goes 51 yards before number 22, Bill Kay, corrals him. But Oakland in good position to score. They're trailing 10-3. Phil?
Thank you, Brian, for that update from the Astrodome. Big ball game for both of those clubs. Raiders are trying to stay close in the AFC West. Houston tied last place with Cleveland in the Central. It is Franklin into Patriot territory at the 48-yard line. Awfully close to the first down. It'll be about a yard, maybe a half yard short. Rod Schote comes up to stop him. And he's going to be awfully close. And they'll call timeout and bring the chain gang in at 10:13 to play here in the third period.
Phil, we've seen in the first half, number 84, Bruce Hardy, the second tight end, the Dolphins get themselves an additional blocker in their offensive line when Hardy lines up in a wing position, and then he'll come in motion or he'll come at the snap of the ball back to the inside and usually will help out on the nose tackle of one of the inside linebackers. So what they've done in this situation is that they've enabled themselves to have an additional blocker and a guy who's big and strong to help out in that middle part of the line.
It is 1st and 10 for the Dolphins at the Patriot 47-yard line. Miami trails 17-6. The lone running back, Tony Nathan. Woodley with time. Plenty of time. Now he'll run it. He is finally chased out of bounds by number 56, Rod Schote. And we've got a flag down in the offensive backfield of the Dolphins, and that usually indicates, Gene, offensive holding.
Well, Don Shula's certainly not happy about that. Woodley taking a broken play, made a positive gain out of it, would have picked up the first down.
79 offense, holding, still first down.
The tackle, John Geisler, guilty of holding.
Coming up next, the second half of today's NFL doubleheader. Dick and Merlin are in San Diego, where the Bengals will meet the San Diego Chargers. The Browns take on the Denver Broncos, the Jets in Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Seattle. Check your local listing for the game in your area coming up right after this one on NBC. 1st and 20 now for the Dolphins. Woodley throws underneath the coverage. His tight end is Ronnie Lee. And he is hit immediately by Steve Nelson as they fight for the football. And he'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. I talked earlier about how little the Dolphins throw to their tight ends. That is Lee's 7th reception all year.
Well, Steve Nelson, as you can see with his helmet sitting on the top of his head, he wasn't fooled at all by that play. He let Lee Cumberland come underneath to catch the ball, but he caught the ball right at about the line of scrimmage, and Nelson was right on top of him for a very short gain, if anything at all.
Other scores around the National Football League today. Look at this. Minnesota stepping it out now over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 23-0 in the third period. Running backs Giaquino and Nathan now for the Dolphins. On 2nd and 19. Woodley. He was looking for Duriel Harris, and I don't know if he got it or not.
They're going to give it to him.
They're going to give it to him. In fact, the official on the far side says he's not even out of bounds.
Well, this is an incredible catch because he has double coverage. You can't see the safety in your screen. He's at the top, but Roland James knows that he has help on the top. Look at this effort as he stretches out, and you have to have 2 feet in bounds. Look at that. That's a nice camera work. He came down, and he had 1 foot and 1 toe, I think, in bounds. But that counts. That's a tremendous effort of concentration on the part of Duriel Harris.
6 catches today, 33 yards. 3rd and 9. Woodley again pressured, unloads it, and a flag goes down as Tom Vigorito makes the catch. An incredible catch. when you figure he had a defensive back hanging all over him.
Well, he had number 59, Mike Hawkins, bumped him, and it's going to be pass interference against Hawkins, but he caught the ball anyway. Now they just have to decide whether they're going to take the penalty or take the play. Willie delivers the football down here. You can see Hawkins right there. Comes a little too early. He bumps him.
Boy, Vigorito has really been a pleasant surprise for Don Shula and his
Interference,
staff.
defense, penalty was refused. They made more on the pass play. First down.
Now Gene Barth tells the story of first down. Why take the penalty? At the Patriot 37-yard line, and there's a man whistled for the infraction. Mike Hawkins, fourth year out of Texas A&I. Talking about Tom Vigorito. Well, he has done it all for Miami, and this is rookie year out of Virginia. 8 minutes, 7 seconds to play in the third period. The Patriots continue to lead, 17-6. Woodley, sideline pattern, and it is almost picked off. Roland James was right there. And Woodley is an awfully lucky young man.
Well, he is lucky that he didn't get it picked off, but again, the timing was not there between quarterback and receiver. The receiver had already gotten into his route, was almost to the sideline, but by the time the football was thrown, in this situation, you can't do that. That's a timing pattern. If that ball's not thrown on time, the likely result is an interception. That's what happened in the first half when Claiborne picked it off. When the Dolphins were threatening, they were down close to a touchdown, and Willie did the same thing and came up with an interception.
Wide receiver at the top of your screen, Jimmy Cephalo, Duriel Harris, counterpart. The give is right up the middle. It is Andra Franklin, and he's inside the 30-yard line. Let's go to New York, Studio 6A, and Bryant Gumbel. Bryant?
Phil, following that 51-yard run by Kenny King, the Raider drive stalled. They had to settle for a field goal. Chris Barr did the honors from 42 yards out. The gap is now 4. It's 10-6 in the third period. Phil?
And here at Schaefer Stadium, as you see it, it is 17-6, New England. Woodley, 13 for 28, 122 yards and 2 interceptions. Give right up the middle as flags go down. It is Vigorito.
That's going to be a touchdown. I think the Patriots were offsides. The Dolphins are certainly going to refuse that.
A 30-yard run by the guy we spoke of just a moment ago, the rookie out of Virginia.
Number 85, defense, offside.
Nice trap block by number 60, Jeff Taves. He opened the way. Great blocking on the part of that Dolphin offensive line. Vigorito took it and just ran it on in.
That's his first touchdown via the rush this year, and it was an offside penalty against New England. Naturally, the Dolphins declined it. The touchdown stands. It is now New England 17, Miami 12, as Uwe van Schamen will try and make it 13. And I'll tell you, when he kicks it through, it's almost automatic. The complexion of this game has changed dramatically. 7 minutes, 17 seconds to play in the third period. Patriots by 4. Uwe van Schamen, as you can see him holding his hand over his eyes. It is very, very bright at that end of the playing field. At the other end, it is Ken Toller back to receive the kick. Toller at the 2. Flag goes down, and Toller is out near the 28-yard line. And where that flag was thrown, you wonder if perhaps it is an illegal block or possibly holding.
I think it's going to be called against number 30, Mosi Tatupu.
I think you're absolutely right for holding. It is against the Patriots, and that'll put them deep in their own end at their own 9. Let's listen to Gene Barth.
The illegal use of the hands, number 30 on the run back. First down.
Tatupu says who? Me? Watch number 30. Right there.
Gets a nice block.
Didn't look like a hold to me.
I think what happened, Phil, though, is the call was that he blocked. Maybe they thought he blocked below the waist. You have to block above the belt in this situation. Maybe they thought that he was below or a little behind.
A receiver is Stanley Morgan, and he's out across the 20-yard line near the 22. You know, we've talked all day about the jinx the Patriots have over the Miami Dolphins. Before the game, we talked to A.J. Dewey about that problem winning here at Foxborough.
Well, we talked about it during the week, but, you know, we just said that we've got to come up here and do a job because, you know, we're in a situation where we're leading the AFC East. And, you know, Buffalo's got to play up in Dallas this Monday. So if we can get the job done today and, you know, just forget about what's happened the last 6 years we've been up here and just go from there. We've started the second half of the season off with a victory, and we just want to build from there and just hope things work out and put us in the playoffs.
Steve Grogan on first and 10. Plenty of time. Right over the middle. It is Cunningham. He's got the football out near the 30-yard line. 6 minutes, 16 seconds to play. The clock continues to run. The Patriots continue to lead 17-13 over the division-leading Dolphins. And we've talked about it all day long. The Patriots came into this ball game a 1-point favorite, which is rather surprising when you look at those standings.
But the Patriots have done very well at home. They've continued to play well at home. They've done it today. It's just on the road where they seem to have their problems.
Second down and 3. The ball spotted now on the 31-yard line. They're calling it second and 2. In motion, Harold Jackson gives near side. It is Collins. He's across the 30-yard line, dives out to the 32. He'll be shy of the first down.
Glenn Blackwood read that play very well and got up in there to make the stop.
Collins, fourth in the AFC in rushing, 591 yards. Of course, Earl Campbell leads in the AFC, an incredible 914 yards, and we're just a little over halfway through. Collins, a great find. There are a couple of rookies in this league this year. Joe Delaney with Kansas City. Of course, Collins here with New England. That gives us to Cunningham. He dances his way out near the 33, and he'll be awfully close to the first down. I believe he got it. Earl Roan on the stop.
Sam Cunningham takes his hand off, and he sees all of that action in the middle of the line. He says, I can't get anything there, so let's see what's going on the outside. He bounces around and uses experience, finds a little hole, and gets just enough for the first down.
Of course, Sam Cunningham sat out all of the 1980 season in a contract hassle with the Patriots. He came back earlier this year, missed the first couple of games. On first and 10, Grogan, he's going for it, picked off. Ernie Roan has the football, he's still on his feet at the Patriot 34-yard line. A big turnover against the Patriots. A 16-yard return by Roan. And the Dolphins in great field position here with 4:12 to play in the third period.
Ernie Roan says his football team needs to make big plays to win. He decides to take things in his own hands here. Literally, he comes up with the interception. A big play for the Dolphins. They're in striking range right now. Coming off another score. I wouldn't be surprised to see Woodley put the ball up in the air right here. Go for all the marbles.
That's the third turnover against the Patriots. The Dolphins also have 3 to give. Andre Franklin, the rookie, and he fights his way in near the 26-yard line. Tim Fox, Tony McGee there on the stop. McGee in his 11th year out of Bishop. As you look at the rookie out of Nebraska, 10 rushes today for 68 yards. Talked about a few minutes ago, Gene, we have seen an awful lot of the rookies around the NFL this year who are playing exceptionally well. Chris Collinsworth, the wide receiver for the Bengals. Delaney for Kansas City. McMillan for the Colts. Second and 2. The ball at the 27. And Woodley will put it up. Got a man. Picked off Steve Nelson. A flag is down. But I've got to believe it is going to be whistled after the interception. Hold on just a moment.
Well, there was a late flag. This is going to be a critical call right here. Because if this call is pass interference against New England...
Defensive interference, number 57. First down.
That's the call against Steve Nelson. I'd be very interested to see this again, because from up here, it looked as though he made a great play on the ball.
Well, it certainly did. It looked as if he was just going for the football.
Both people have a right to the football, the offensive man and the defensive man. Let's take a look and see what happens. You make your own determination. Well, there it is. Nelson does step in front. He's going for the football, and this is a situation where the official has to use his discretion. It's strictly a discretionary call. It appeared as though from up here like it was a good play, but the official is down there on the field. He's closer than we are, and it's his decision. But what a big call it is.
Well, you saw how late that flag came in. The flag wasn't thrown until Nelson was well on his way to a return. However, the call will stand, and the fans here in New England do not like it one bit. First and 10. Dolphins with the ball at the 23. And it is Andre Franklin, and Richard Bishop, the big 6'1" nose tackle, wrestles him to the turf.
This is a very important situation now for the defense. You get a big turnover like that, and you get it taken away with a penalty, you have a tendency to let down a little bit, but you can't afford to do that against the Dolphins because they're going to hurt you. The Patriots have to stiffen right here. They have to try to keep the Dolphins out of the end zone. They want to try to make them go for the field goal. They don't want to give up 6 points here and get behind.
Matt Moore is into the ball game. He is split out wide to the right. Jeriel Harris is to the top of your screen. And we've got a timeout. The Miami Dolphins want to talk about it. And David Woodley will trot to the far sideline to discuss things with head coach Don Shula. 2:42 to play here in the third period. I want to remind you about the second half of today's doubleheader. Some good ball games. Jets in Baltimore, Cincinnati and San Diego. We've got a barn burner right here in Foxborough where the Patriots lead Miami 17-13. Next week on NBC Sports World, 2 up-and-coming middleweights square off in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Power puncher Alex Ramos, he is undefeated. He'll take on the aggressive Norberto Sabater in a 10-round bout. That should be a great fight. Plus a battle of biceps. Some strong-willed women meet in World Professional Wrist Wrestling. All of that next Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time on NBC Sports World. Now you look at Ron Earhart, his career record, 21 wins, 20 losses, no ties. He'd certainly like to make the Dolphins his 22nd victim.
Well, that would certainly be a big lift for this ball club. Everyone had such high hopes for them before the season started. We keep talking about the mistakes they've made where they've lost ball games and really weren't blown out that many times. This would certainly be a lift today if they could win this ball game, but they're playing against one of the best football teams around, and certainly I think everyone agrees that Don Shula is the best football coach around.
And you hear the New England fans still booing that pass interference call against Steve Nelson. 2nd and 8. The pass over the middle to Tony Nathan. He tries to juke number 59, Mike Hawkins. He would have none of it. Hawkins held his ground and brought Nathan down at the 14.
It's going to be close to that first down. What the Dolphins did, they allowed the Patriots who went into their zone defense. Woodley had enough time to sit back and allow those linebackers to get back into their drops, threw underneath it to Tony Nathan. He got the football, knew where he had to go for the first down, and he's going to be about 6 inches short.
That was Nathan's first reception on the afternoon.
This is a big situation here. This is a big third down situation. The Patriots certainly want to hold here and force the Dolphins to go for the field goal. They'll still be ahead by 1, be 17-16. But if they get this first down, it can change the complexion of this ball game in a hurry.
3rd and 1. Reverse near side. It is Nathan. No, it is not Nathan. It is Nat Moore. He takes the reverse around the near side. He'll have plenty enough for the first down at the 11-yard line.
Nat Moore has been having some problems with his ankle and knee, but he gets this reverse. He knows exactly where he has to go for that first down. He's got both guards out in front. Finds his spot, gets the first down, and gets out of bounds.
Boy, I remember Nat Moore when he played his collegiate ball for Doug Dickey at the University of Florida. Speaking of Florida, what a game the Gators and the Georgia Bulldogs had yesterday. First and 10, the ball at the 11. 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Right up the middle, a fumble on the play. Hold on just a minute. They're still unpiling them.
The Patriots have the football. The jinx continues to plague the Dolphins.
Andrew Franklin, the man who fucked it up. Boy, a big defensive play for the New England Patriots. Rod Schott, there you see him on the recovery. So, with 1:53 seconds to play, again, the Patriots have turned the Dolphins away.
There's number 56, Rod Schott, who comes up with the second fumble recovery today. I think the Dolphins had only had 4 all season long, and they've given up 2 today.
You're absolutely right, Gene. First and 10, Patriots with the football and a 4-point lead. Collins across the right side. He's got a couple. Let's go to New York, Studio 6A for an update with Bryant Gumbel. Bryant?
Well, Phil, for the first time in their ball game against the Oilers, the Raiders have assumed the lead in the Astrodome. Arthur Whittington getting the call, going around the left side. The run good for 12 yards, and the Raiders have moved in front of the Oilers 13-10 in the third period. Phil?
Phil Stone and Gene Washington here with 1:22 seconds to play in the third period. It has been a battle of the turnovers, and New England has come out on the long end so far today. Brogan on 2nd and 6, pressured, goes over the middle to Cunningham, and it is intercepted by Dewey. Tony Collins brings him down near the 10-yard line. A.J. Dewey, the man we spoke with a few moments ago, with a 10-yard return, and again, another turnover.
A.J. Dewey is all over the football field. Sam Cunningham turns around, tries to catch the football, bounces it up in the air. Dewey picks it off like a defensive back. So we take another look from the end zone. You can see that Cunningham has his hands on the ball, even though it's thrown behind him. And Dewey, who's playing in that linebacker spot, he moves in and out from linebacker to a down lineman position, comes up with a key interception.
That's Dewey's first interception this year. And you take a look at Don Shula, who's trying to notch his 200th victory.
Look at that fan there.
Choking to smile, says one fan. 1:05 to play, third quarter, Cephalo in motion. A counter to Nathan. And he's down near the 1. Tim Fox brings him down along with Rod Schott. It was 9 years ago that Don Shula recorded his 100th victory, and it was against these Patriots.
It's one of the Dolphin players down on the field. The Dolphins love to run the traps. They've been doing it all game long. This time it worked successfully. Those offensive linemen, they pull out of there with good speed, and they know how to trap block as well as anyone. Nathan on 10 carries has 68 yards.
And Franklin on 11 carries has 69 yards. You talk about rushing balance. And the injured player is getting up. He will walk off. We'll find out who he is in just a moment. We'll be right back. Foxborough, stay with us. The Dolphins is the man who was injured on the play. He will sit this play out.
And he's being replaced by number 74 in the middle of your screen, Cleveland Green, a third-year player who's getting his first playing time right now out of Southern University.
There you see Woodley stats, 14 of 29. It is 2nd and 1. The ball on the 1. Nathan. Yes. And that, my friends, is a happy young man. Tony Nathan has just given the Dolphins their first lead today.
Did not have a good first half, dropped the football, but he's making up for it now. He sees that goal line, puts a straight arm out there, gets the score, and he is happy about this. Look at that. He uses that speed to get outside. Tim Fox knows that it's all over because he makes contact right at the goal line. That's 6 points.
Uwe von Schamann will try to make it a 20-17 Dolphin lead. von Schaman has given the Miami Dolphins a 20-17 lead here with just 25 seconds to play in the third quarter. And he has to be wondering, when will the adversity end for his New England Patriots? 4 turnovers today. They're 36th this year, if you can believe it. Scoring drive, 2 plays, covered 10 yards after the pass interception by A.J. Dewey and a 1-yard run by Tony Nathan. Uwe von Schaman is set to kick it away, and it's a short one. It'll be fielded at the 9 by Ken Toller. He will not get very far. It is Don Besselou to stop him at the 16-yard line. As you look at Besselou trot off, let's take a look at some scores around the league today. Minnesota over Tampa Bay 23-3 in the 4th period. At St. Louis, Philadelphia is really stepping it out over the Cardinals now, 31-10. Carmichael 2 touchdown catches. Washington over Detroit by 2 in the 3rd quarter. And it is Kansas City trailing the Chicago Bears 10-3. Gibbs, Collins, right side, he turns the corner.
Fumbles the football.
And it is recovered by Miami. It is A.J. Dewey. And that is the 5th turnover for the Patriots. And hold on just a minute. Hold on just a minute.
You can see Collins going around the outside. The ball is completely loose. Gerald Small.
They're giving the football back to the Patriots. Don Shula is livid. Hold on just a minute. As the 3rd quarter comes to an end, we'll be back to try and straighten this out for you in just a minute. At the end of the 3rd quarter,
he's a good 1.5 yards away from the sidelines.
Now there's a case where the instant replay certainly tells the story. It should have been a fumble recovery for the Dolphins. Instead, the Patriots hold on to the football. Cunningham has the ball. He's across the 30-yard line. He'll gain possibly 2 yards on the play before he is stopped by Larry Gordon and Ernie Arone. 14:48 to play in this ball game. As you take a look at the stats through the 3rd quarter, the Patriots continue to hold the statistical lead. But, Gene, they have simply committed too many turnovers. Critical turnovers.
Well, both teams have turned the ball over. It's just that in the second half, Miami has played an awful lot better than they did in the first half. They've held onto the football, and they've taken advantage of the turnovers that they have gotten.
Give near side, Collins. And again, the Dolphins with great defensive pursuit. Number 59, Bob Brzezinski, is the one who ran him deep, would not let him turn the corner. At the Astrodome, Oakland has taken the lead over the Houston Oilers in the 4th period. Arthur Whittington, a 12-yard run. Chris Barr, a 43-yard field goal. Green Bay over the Giants, 23-14 in the 3rd period. Running backs for the Patriots, Andy Johnson and Mosey Tatupu, as Grogan will go out on a shotgun. Dolphins employed 5 defensive backs. Flags go down and the play will be whistled. They'll stop it right there.
Looks like illegal procedure against the Patriots. I saw Dwight Wheeler start a little early. He actually came up into a stance before the ball was snapped.
62 offense, ball start.
Now you had it perfect, Gene. And right there you saw Wheeler jump just a split second too early. So now it'll be 3rd and 13 instead of 3rd and 8. And there's a fan out on the field, and an official is telling him to get off the playing field. He's trying to get those Patriots fired up.
Well, he's already fired up.
And I'll bet you there's more firing him up than sheer emotion. And take a look at the penalties. Grogan 13 for 23, 237 yards. But the telling receiver there was Stanley Morgan, and it is almost picked off. Don McNeil was the man who had his hands on the ball. He couldn't hold on.
Well, that pass wasn't even close to Stanley Morgan. He turned for the hook, and you can see as he turns around, the ball is already delivered. It wasn't even close to him. The only people that had a shot at it are 3 Dolphin defenders.
Rich Camarillo is on to punt it away for New England. Tom Figueredo is the deep man. He gets a good one. Figueredo at the 28. And he'll bring it out across the 35-yard line, a 45-yard punt. And Toller brings him down. Miami has the football. They have a 3-point lead. We'll be back in just a moment. Here in Foxborough today, Gene, it seems like the New England Patriots have seen this act over and over and over again.
Well, they have, but usually on the road. Now it's starting to happen at home. They have that jinx going for them. They're down a little bit now. Miami's in good position, though, to change things around. If they get off one of those patent drives that they usually do, they'll eat up an awful lot of time on the clock.
Woodley has not had the great afternoon, 14 of 29, but his team leads this ball game. It is 1st and 10, Miami with the ball at the 37. Give near side. It is Franklin. He tries to turn the corner and nothing doing. Steve Nelson and Julius Adams were there to bring him down. A little help from Bob Gullick. Or you take a look at Gullick, second year out of Notre Dame.
Good run support linebacker, has good lateral movement. Not quite as good against the pass as some of the other guys, but when it comes to containing that run, he is really tough and fills those gaps. Very effective.
Here come the Dolphins. It is now 2nd down, and they're calling it 11. Ball now spotted at the 35. And Woodley wants to put it up as he rolls right. Pressure. And that is the first sack for the Patriots today. Richard Bishop and Tony McGee.
Back the sack. Richard Bishop, they get in there. You see number 78. Tony McGee coming in, applying the pressure. Number 64, Richard Bishop comes up through the middle and finishes them off.
Now look at that statistic. Miami with the fourth least amount of sacks allowed against their quarterback. That is only the 10th time Woodley has been down all year. Strock has been down twice. Woodley right over the middle, and he's got a man. Still on his feet, it is Duriel Harris, and he'll be nowhere close to a first down.
Well, let's see what the Patriots do when they get this football. They're certainly not in a position to be conservative. They're going to have to start airing it out a little bit.
Tom Orris today, a couple of punts, averaging 40.5 yards. That's his season average, almost to the T. Stanley Morgan is back deep to receive. Morgan is averaging over 11 yards of return. His longest this year, 26 yards. A long count. And Orris, short punt. Morgan will have a return. Flag goes down. And it is going to be whistled against the Patriots. And it is Tatupu for the 2nd time today who will be whistled for either holding or blocking below the waist. A 38-yard punt by Orris.
And he knew it as soon as he saw the flag go down. He knew that he was guilty. When you have a guy like Stanley Morgan back there catching those punts, with his speed, you know he's capable of going all the way, so sometimes you get a little over-anxious on trying to apply a block. But this time it didn't work out.
So with 11 minutes, 3 seconds to play on this ball game, we'll be back in just a moment. Miami leads it 20-17.
Alex Ramos goes toe-to-toe with the pride of Brooklyn, the devastating Noberto Sabater. Plus, strength against strength. One-on-one women's world professional wrist wrestling.
11 minutes, 3 seconds to play on this ball game. Miami has come back in the second half to take the lead over the New England Patriots. Through the first half of play, it was all New England.
That's exactly right, and Miami has turned things around here in the second half. As we mentioned when the game started, Miami is a consistent football team. They've made a few more mistakes today. They turned the football over 2 times today, only 4 times prior to this all season long. But they've continued to come back from adversity. Let's see what the Patriots do.
Brogan will put it in the air. Comes back screen left. Cunningham. And he takes on Larry Gordon head on. And Gordon finally takes him out of bounds at the 30-yard line. They'll pick up 5 yards on the play.
Larry Gordon did a good job that time because he had number 73, John Hanna, blocking on him. But he managed to fight Hanna off and stop Sam Cunningham. Those are 2 big guys coming at you. First you got Hanna, then Cunningham.
Well, the Patriots certainly have their work cut out for them the rest of the way. The New York Jets are here next week, and they travel to Buffalo, come back against St. Louis, and then play these Dolphins again in Miami. Reverse, near side. Morgan. A first down across the 40-yard line. Lyle Blackwood on the tackle.
Stanley Morgan with that excellent speed. He takes the ball on the reverse. Waits for his blockers to set up. I think he's going to take a little break. I think he's being bothered a little bit by a knee problem that he had earlier. And I think it's hurt him a little bit today. He's gone in and out of the lineup. But what speed this guy has. Number 86, Stanley Morgan. He can fly.
First and 10, Patriots at the 41-yard line. 10 minutes, 6 seconds to play in the game. Dolphins lead it. Give near side. It is Collins. Tries to cut it outside. What a move. He's out to the midfield stripe. A pickup of 9 yards on the carry. What a move. Lyle Blackwood finally catches up with him.
But his brother, number 47, Glenn Blackwood, was just totally faked out. As Tony Collins put down one of the great moves. Look at this. John Hanna's out in front. Now watch this move. Look at that. Number 47 is just left there, grabbing a hold of air. That's 81 yards on the day and 12 carries for number 33, Tony Collins.
A rookie out of East Carolina. What a job he has done. Second and 1. Second man through. He's got the first down. Again, it is the rook, Tony Collins.
The key when any team is playing well, Phil, is the play of their offensive line. That's where all the action starts. Look at number 73, Big John Hanna. Ooh, he moves A.J. Dewey back about 4 yards. When you get an offensive line play like that, you're going to be doing things right. It makes everything happen better.
Hanna's only 6'2". He's not tremendously big, but he weighs 265 pounds. And it is solid muscle. First and 10. Right side. It is Vegas Ferguson. And a flag goes down.
Well, this could be very costly. The Patriots are in good shape. Let's listen.
Oh. And I'll tell you, it has happened all year long. And look at Ron Earhart. He simply cannot believe it. 9 minutes and 15 seconds to play in this game as Patriots trying to mount a drive. Let's listen to Gene Barth.
Number 80 offense, holding, still first down.
It is Hasselbeck. Let's go to New York in Studio 6A.
All right, Phil, since the acquisition of Dave Casper last year, Mike Barber's been a forgotten man in Houston, but he's just scored a very big touchdown, catching a 25-yarder from John Reeves to put Houston in front of Oakland 17-16.
First and 20, draw play, Cunningham. And he follows Tony Collins near the 45-yard line of Miami. A.J. Dewey was there to bring him down. There you get a good look at Sam Bam Cunningham. Led these Patriots in rushing 5 of the 6 years he has played here.
He delivered a real blow to the linebacker, the outside linebacker, number 50, Larry Gordon. Cunningham ran into Gordon, and Gordon ended up on his seat on the ground.
Second and 10. Brogan, all the time in the world. Hasselbeck. fullback should have held on, and he didn't.
Well, Phil, this is a very tough situation. Grogan goes back, and he delivers a strike. He really threads the needle. But you'll see in this situation, the ball is delivered right here, and he doesn't have much time to control that football before he's hit. That's number 55, Ernie Roan, that comes over. And he came up with an interception before Ernie Roan did, and he says, we have to make big plays if we're going to win. That's his second big play of the day.
Andy Johnson has checked in, as has Mosey Tutupu. Watch Andy Johnson. He's number 32. This guy is 6 for 6 in the passing department. He usually takes a pitch from Grogan, holds up, and throws the football. He's thrown 3 touchdowns this year. 3rd and 10. Grogan out of the shotgun. He lost it for Morgan.
Big play, simply uses his speed. Look at this, the ball is thrown excellently right over the shoulder of number 28, the defensive back, Don McNeil. There's not much he can do about it. I don't think there's anybody in the league that can run stride for stride with Stanley Morgan, and McNeil was in good shape, but Grogan delivered an excellently thrown pass.
Oh, it was a big play when the Patriots needed it most. 44 yards for the Dolphins won. Here comes New England, and Grogan wants some quiet. Listen to this crowd. Collins.
Excellent blocking from Bob Kreider, Shelby Jordan, and number 39, Sam the Bam, as he knocks Don McNeil down. And one of the nice things about a fullback like Sam Cunningham is that he can block, and a great blocker he is, as he led Tony Collins into the end zone.
Wow, 7 minutes, 21 seconds to play on this ball game. The Patriots have just recaptured the lead. John Smith is on for the try. Kavanaugh puts it down. It is perfect. So with 7:21 to play in this ball game, the Patriots have come back. They lead the Miami Dolphins 24-20. We have a great one here in Foxborough. Challenge the man who has just given New England a 24-20 lead. And if the Patriots can hold on and win this one, the upcoming game here on NBC, the Baltimore Colts and the New York Jets, is a big, big ball game. It is Fulton Walker at the 4. Flag goes down. And Walker will go down. And listen to this crowd. And they're calling a holding against the Miami Dolphins. So instead of starting at their own 13, they will start deeper in their own end.
Phil, one of the interesting statistics, you can see Shula on the sideline talking to his quarterback, David Woodley. They're backed up now.
From the rear, first down.
You can hear the officials saying that the block was from the rear, which is obviously illegal. If it's above the waist or from the rear, it's an illegal block.
There are the standings as we came into today's game. Of course, if Miami continues to trail and ultimately loses this ball game, they will go to 6-3-1. The Buffalo-Dallas game will be a big, big game tomorrow night. But the New York Jet game coming up here on NBC will be a real big game in the battle for the AFC Eastern Division. 7 minutes, 9 seconds to play in this one. The give right up the middle. It is Tony Nathan. He'll get a couple. Gene, we're talking about winning on first down, which is Shula's theory that you have to win on first down. I'm not so certain I know exactly what that means.
Well, that's a key to the Miami offense. They feel that they have to gain 4 yards or more on first down, because what that does, it allows you to be in an optional situation on second down. You can either run or pass. That puts an awful lot of pressure on the defense. We'll come back and talk about that later, because it's a key statistic as the game wears on.
action to the bottom of your screen. Screen pass from Tony Nathan. And he's out close to the first down, and he is hammered out of bounds on the far side by Bill Matthews. Scores around the league in the fourth quarter. Philadelphia has now begun to step it out over the St. Louis Cardinals. It is Detroit coming back to lead the Washington Redskins 28-23. Billy Sims, a 13-yard touchdown run. Green Bay continues to lead the Giants as they have all day long, but the Giants getting closer, 23-21. And look at this one. At Arrowhead, the Chicago Bears continue to surprise the Kansas City Chiefs. That game in the second quarter, 10-6. Of course, Gene, you and I did the Chicago-San Diego game. The ball game, the Bears won in overtime, 20-17. So we know the Bears can get it done. Play action, Woodley, pressure. Screen to the near side is Tony Nathan. He's got more than enough.
Woodley had his choice that time as he went with the play action. He had number 81, Jimmy Cephala, who was coming across the middle. And I'll tell you, he was wide open, and I'm sure he'll go back to the huddle and tell his quarterback that. But as I mentioned before, Woodley had his choice of either Nathan or Cephala and decided to go with Nathan. And I think they're going to be just about 2 inches shy of the first down.
Gene, you were talking about winning on first down, where Shula believes you have to get at least 4 yards. What does that do if you do get more than 4 yards?
It puts an awful lot of pressure on the defense because now the offensive team has a second and short situation. When you're second and short, you can go for the bomb. It's sort of a wasted down. You have a free down situation because if you don't make anything, you come back and you still have third and short. It's a very key statistic for the Dolphins. They pay a lot of attention to this. At this point in the ball game, Miami has had the ball in 28 first down tries, and they have 16 plus 4. New England has 14 plus 4, and it's very close, and the score is close.
It is certainly indicative of this ball game. Andre Franklin's on his feet. He has got the first down across the 31-yard line. Steve Nelson wrestles him to the ground. Andre Franklin, the workhorse of this Miami Dolphins backfield, has done a remarkable job today.
Don Shula describes him as a power runner with quick feet. And having quick feet enables you to hit up in that line, and when you see a hole that's not where you're supposed to be, the ability to get there. And that's what you mean when you say a guy has quick feet. That's 72 yards on 13 carries by Franklin.
Woodley, 17 of 32, 155 yards. No touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. Nat Moore in motion. Woodley on a play action. Screens to the near side. It is Ronnie Lee, his tight end. He's still on his feet, out near the 40. Steve Nelson was there. Roland James was there, as was Rod Schote. Takes 3 guys to bring down this big third-year man out of Baylor, 6'3", 236 pounds.
Ronnie Lee was actually the secondary receiver as Woodley was looking for number 89, Nat Moore, who was trying to come all the way across the field from the right side to the left. But the Patriots had their linebackers back there in good coverage. Woodley couldn't get the ball to Nat Moore. Lee was a secondary receiver and delivered the football to him.
5 minutes to play in this ball game as Woodley tries to get the Dolphins down the field. Miami trailing by 4. It is 24-20. A counter to Nathan. He dives out across the 40-yard line. The strong safety Rick Sanford is there to tackle him. More scores. Look at this one. The Oilers have come back to take a lead over the Oakland Raiders, 17-16. That game now in the fourth quarter at the Astrodome. The Vikes lead the Buccaneers 25-10, also in the fourth period. Don Shula trying desperately to come up with win number 200. Woodley is 8 of 9 in the second half. Sweep right, Nathan. And he's got the first down. So Miami will hold on to the football as the clock continues to run here at Schaefer Stadium. 4:05. Now they stop the clock. They'll bring the sticks in for a measurement. It looked as if he got it from up here. Bill Matthews brought him down.
One of the Patriots is down on the field. You can't see the number from here.
Well, while the medical staff from New England tends to the injured player, we'll take a timeout. We'll return in just a moment. And in the moon over New England. And some absolutely spectacular pictures today provided by our producer, Peter Rolfe, and our director, Bucky Gunst. Gentlemen, we thank you. They have been extraordinary here. And the game also been a great one. 3 minutes, 52 seconds to play. The Dolphins trail by 4. They have the football first and 10 at the 43.
Fumble.
Look at this one.
He's open. Duriel Harris is wide open. Oh!
Rick Sanford brought him down at the 2. Can you believe that play?
This play will be in the highlights. You can see the fans are stunned. You'll see that Franklin fumbles this ball. It was intended to throw the ball back. He fumbles it, bobbles it around. He finally gets the ball back to Woodley. The net result is that they get a better play out of this than they thought because the defensive backs, I'm sure, sensed that it was a fumble and started to come up. Duriel Harris is running alone downfield and makes a great grab right before he goes into the end zone. The ball's down on about the 3-yard line.
Alondra Franklin, as he was going into the line, coughed it up. It bounced off the shoulder pad of the left tackle, John Geisler. I'll tell you, there have been some crazy, crazy plays. Watch this. There's coming off Geisler, number 79. Franklin recovers, tosses it right back to Woodley, and he unloads. Here come the Dolphins. First and goal at the 3. Franklin, he is bottled up. He'll go nowhere. Roland James is there, as is number 52, Steve King. That play to Duriel Harris covered 55 yards, and it's just like they work on it in practice.
Phil, but the amazing thing about it is that I believe that the fumble actually caused that play to work better. Because I'm sure the defensive back, since there was a fumble, caused him to hesitate a little bit. The ball still got back to the quarterback, Woodley. He has a strong arm, and he just laid it up there, and Duriel Harris went and got it.
The Miami Dolphins had called a timeout as David Woodley wants to trot over and talk things over with Don Shula. The Dolphins have been in this situation so many times. They've shared or won outright 8 division titles in the 11 years that Don Shula has been with the Miami Dolphins. You know, it was 9 years ago, 1972, when Shula won his 100th ball game, a 52-0 rout over these New England Patriots. While there's a timeout, we'll take one, too. 2:17 to play. Stay where you are. To the second half, and Gene, he can thank his lucky stars he got this one completed.
That ball bounced off with the helmets of all 3 linemen at the top of your screen, and Woodley uses his strong arm, and he throws the football way up there. Duriel Harris again making an outstanding catch as he comes back towards the middle and catches the ball over the head of Rick Sanford.
Second and goal to go, Miami. 2:17 to play. The Dolphins trail by 4. Woodley rolls right. He wants to throw.
He's going to run it in.
Touchdown, Miami. Touchdown, Dolphins. Woodley, from 2 yards out, has given the Dolphins a 26-24 lead. And I believe Woodley is hurt. He is hurt.
You can only do this when you have a quarterback who can run the football. It's an option all the way. It's a run-pass option. Woodley doesn't find anybody, sees that goal line, and he goes for it. And it's clear that he has a touchdown, but he got that shoulder right down on the AstroTurf, and that has to smart.
He's up walking off the playing field. For Woodley coming into today's game, he had rushed the ball 23 times for 104 yards. He's averaging 4.5 yards a rush, and that's his 3rd touchdown running this year. And Don Shula encourages Woodley to run. That is something you hardly ever see in the NFL. Uwe von Schaman to try and give the Dolphins a 3-point bulge. It is down, and he drills it through. So the seesaw game continues. National Football League rules require that we present away games, starting with the opening kickoff to stations in that team's home area. So viewers in the New York area, we're sorry to tell you we will be leaving this game in a few minutes for the Jets-Baltimore Colts game. We will, however, bring you reports on this game to keep you up to date on the outcome here at Schaefer Stadium in Foxborough. You have seen a dynamite ball game. For the rest of you around the nation, we will be staying right here. 2 minutes, 11 seconds to play. It is 27-24. Miami leads it. What a ball game we have seen this afternoon.
David Woodley, who's 6 feet 2 inches, 204 pounds. He's a big quarterback, but he's very mobile, as you saw on that touchdown. Very mobile quarterback. He got out there, was looking for the pass, nothing happened. And he said, I'll make it on my own. Put his head down, got into the end zone.
Gene, there's one thing we have to talk about as Uwe van Schamen gets set to kick this one away. John Smith, the New England Patriot kicker, has booted 150 yards this year already. And a field goal could tie it. From the 10, it is Tony Collins. And he is brought down. He takes on number 54, Steve Potter, head on. And Potter makes a good open field tackle. So the Patriots will begin from their own 20-yard line with 2:01 to play. The Patriots will have the football, and they need 3 points. New England is 0 for 6 in overtime games. But as we wind down, the possibility of an overtime game becomes more of a reality because of the strength in John Smith's leg, as he led the National Football League in scoring just a year ago. But right now, it is up to Mr. Grogan and company to get the Patriots down the field. 1st and 10 from the shotgun. Plenty of time right over the middle. Tony Collins. He's out to the 28-yard line. Ernie Rowan brings him down. The 6th-year man out of Henderson, Arkansas. A timeout. And now here comes another one of those fantastic finishes as we reach the 2-minute warning. Football is Don Ohlmeyer, coordinating producer Ted Nathanson. The telecast of today's game has been produced by Peter Rolfe, directed by Bucky Guntz. Technical director Steve Semino, associate director John Libretto. I also want to thank our spotters here today at Schaefer Stadium, Ron Hobson and George Sullivan, our stats man Bill George. 1:54 to play in this one. It has been an outstanding ball game. New England took the early lead. They led 10-3. Miami came back in the second half. They took the lead. New England regained it. Miami has taken it just a moment ago. The give is to Tupu. A little inside handoff. He gained possibly a yard as it fooled nobody. 1:44. The clock continues to run as the Patriots go with the hurry-up offense out of the shotgun. Kohler and Morgan, the wide receivers. Right over the middle, it is Andy Johnson. And he's out to the 40-yard line, short of the first down. The clock continues to run. Larry Gordon and Ernie Rowan in on the stop. 1:25 to play, again from the hurry-up.
2nd and 2 at the 40.
2nd and 2. Wide open. Again, it is Johnson. He is into Dolphin territory at the 47-yard line. A first down for New England. And that stops the clock, Gene. Very, very important. Johnson got out of bounds.
Very smart play calling on the part of Steve Grogan because he knows that the Dolphins are going to be laying back. The Dolphins are not going to let them throw anything over their head for a quick touchdown. They're going to make everything happen underneath. Grogan has been patient, throwing the ball underneath. That time, Andy Johnson out in the flat, no one around him, caught the ball and was able to get out of bounds, stop the clock, and save those timeouts.
1:15 to play. Miami 27, New England 24. Grogan on first down, right over the middle, intended for Hasselbeck. It is knocked away by number 46, Don Bessalou, who has just checked into the ball game.
Bessalou almost put an end to that threat. He almost picked that ball off.
That stops the clock. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. Bill Stone and Gene Washington. There you see it, 4th quarter, 1:12 to play. It is Miami trying to break the 5-year jinx here at Foxborough. They lead the Patriots 27-24 from the shotgun. Grogan, plenty of time, comes right side to Tupu. Mosey on his feet, and he is near the first down. 1:01 to play in this ball game. The Patriots with 3 timeouts, and we've got a Dolphin who is slow getting up. A timeout for the New England Patriots. They'll have 2 remaining. There you look at the standings again. Miami 6-2-1. Buffalo a half game behind them. The Jets, who follow this telecast, 4-4. The New England Patriots are 2-7. Baltimore, 1-8.
There's the man who's probably going to get a chance to tie this ball game up, John Smith. He's getting warmed up. And I think you'd mentioned he'd already kicked one this year for 50 yards or so.
You don't have to get him much closer than this, and Mr. Smith can put it through. There you look at the Dolphins series lead here, 18 wins, 11 losses. But as we've spoken about all day long, the Patriots have won 5 straight here in Foxborough, including last year's 34-0 rout over the Dolphins. In fact, that game, Gene, was the first time the Dolphins had been shut out in 10 years.
Well, the jinx. That's the jinx working.
Grogan, 19 of 32 in this ball game. Listen to this, 328 yards and a touchdown, but the telling tale has been his 3 interceptions.
Well, they're in great position right now. They're going to try to work it down a little closer so that Smith won't have to have too long of a field goal attempt.
Well, the Patriots are 2-7, but I'll tell you one thing, they have not been blown out of one game. They have had opportunities to win every one. It is Collins, right side, inside handoff, and he fights his way near the 30-yard line. The clock continues to run. Doug Betters, the left defensive end, brings him down. 49 seconds, 48, the hurry-up offense. The Patriots from the shotgun. Grogan right over the middle, and it is almost picked off. Bob Brzezinski almost had the football as it went right through the hands of Hasselbeck.
I think he was trying to get that ball to Tupu, thrown a little bit behind him.
41 seconds to play. New England still has 2 timeouts left. Take a look at this replay.
You'll see that the ball is almost intercepted as Tupu turns around, tries to catch the ball behind him.
Ernie Rohn really gives Tupu a hit, and Mosey checks out of the ball game. Andy Johnson and Tony Collins are in. We've talked about it before. Andy Johnson has already thrown 3 touchdown passes this year. Grogan. He's got a man. It is Andy Johnson. And I believe he'll be awfully close to the first down as the clock continues to run. 33 seconds, and now they stop it.
Steve
Grogan really took a hit.
I was about to say that Grogan was hit by Kim Bokamper just as he threw that football, and he has to be hurting. There's Ron Earhart on the sideline, and they're trying to get their strategy together.
And there you take a look at Grogan. I'll tell you something. Look at this crowd go wild. Andy Johnson today, 5 catches for 70 yards. Now there you take a look at this sellout crowd here in Foxborough as Grogan talks things over with Earhart, and Don Shula wants a word with one of the officials on the far sideline. 33 seconds to play. Gene, you and I were in San Diego a week ago today when the Chargers won it with 13 seconds to play on a field goal. We were in Chicago 2 weeks ago when the Bears beat San Diego on a field goal in overtime. So we have been involved in very, very exciting finishes.
Well, you have to wonder about the strategy now for New England. 33 seconds left to go in the game. Maybe they'll take one shot on the ground and try to get it a little closer. Then maybe they'll take one shot in the end zone. Maybe they'll go for the win. They'll try to get the ball down in the end zone. There are a couple of things that can happen. You can come up with pass interference. Of course, you can come up with a reception for a touchdown. The only negative thing is that you might get an interception, but the fact that you can go for a win here may overshadow that. So they may try to get the ball a little closer for the field goal and then take one shot in the end zone before they kick it.
There you take a look at Ron Earhart. He'd like to get his ball club just a little bit closer before John Smith is called upon. Hasselbeck is in. The wide receivers, Jackson and Morgan. From the shotgun on 1st and 10. Grogan's got a man. It is Tony Collins. And he is out of bounds at the 17. As the crowd goes nuts. Certainly changes the complexion action a great deal, Gene.
Grogan was looking downfield, but the Dolphins were in a zone defense. This allowed Collins to come underneath the coverage, catch the football, and get out of bounds. But now what's going to happen, they're down inside the 20. The Dolphins may not be able to play zone down in here because the quarterback can pick it apart. They may have to play man-to-man. We haven't heard anything from Harold Jackson today. He may be the key guy because you know they're going to concentrate on Stanley Morgan.
From the shotgun there, you get a good look at Steve Grogan. 26 seconds to play. He's going for it all. And the man he's looking for is Morgan. And it is overthrown out of the end zone. And that stops the clock with 21 seconds to play. New England trying to hold on to their one timeout they have remaining. And it is now third down and call it 1. The ball at the 17-yard line. If they had to call on John Smith right now, it would be about a 34, possibly a 35-yard attempt. You take a look at John Smith right there, a man who led the NFL in scoring a year ago. He has hit on field goals of 22, 50, 43, 22, 21, 46, and 38. Third and 1. Grogan goes for it again. He'll throw it out of bounds. And that should show you a little bit of the discipline of Steve Grogan. He knew he had nobody there. Don't risk anything. Get rid of the ball.
You're absolutely right. Don't take any chances at all in this situation, especially when you have a kicker like number 1, John Smith.
And here comes John Smith onto the field. 15 seconds to play in this ball game. It is 4th and 1. The ball is at the 17-yard line. They will spot it at the 24. It will be a 34-yard attempt to tie the ball game. Dolphins will have one last shot at it if they can't get anything on the board in those 10 seconds. Gene, we will play an overtime period.
What an incredible finish this is. They're going to have, if it ends up in a tie, they'll have a coin toss and there'll be a 3-minute intermission. The fans couldn't ask for a better football game.
Well, you have seen it all. You have seen exceptional quarterbacking, some sensational runs by the running backs of both the Dolphins and the Patriots. And you have also seen an extraordinary number of turnovers, which have had a tremendous effect on this game for both ball clubs. John Smith will kick it away, the man who just tied it up for New England. Back deep to receive, number 41, Fulton Walker. He's standing at his own 5. It's a short kick. Walker from the 10. And he is knocked down at the 25-yard line. And that is where the Dolphins will put it in play. But right now, let's go to New York and Bryant Gumbel. Bryant.
Phil, we saw John Smith make good on his field goal attempt in the closing seconds, but we can tell you that in Houston, Chris Barr did not. With 7 seconds left to play, his 47-yarder went wide right, and Houston beat Oakland 17-16. Phil?
Thank you very much for that news, Bryant. That was a big, big game for both ball clubs. As Houston now goes to 5-5, the Oakland Raiders go to 4-6. 5 seconds to play here at Schaefer Stadium. We are deadlocked at 27-all. The last time these two teams met, Gene, and the Orange Bowl last year in December, that game also went into overtime. Uwe von Schamann won it. I believe it was about 3 minutes into the overtime period. He kicked the winning field goal. Well, the Dolphins, too, have an extraordinary place kicker. And time runs out as the Dolphins are content to try the overtime period. So, Regulation is finished. We are tied at 27 all. We'll be back with the overtime in just a moment. Played a part in this ball game, but there have been some other strange happenings.
Well, this strange play right here got the Dolphins back in the game. And I think this miscue actually helped the Dolphins because the defensive backs, I think, slowed down a little bit as they saw the fumble happening. Woodley delivered the ball down to Duriel Harris, who takes it and gets it down to about the 3-yard line with a great effort.
And Woodley took it from there, from the 1-yard line. He rolled right on a quarterback rollout, took it in himself. That gave the Dolphins a 3-point lead. But just a few moments ago, John Smith came back and booted a 34-yard field goal with just 15 seconds to play to tie this game up. As you take a look at the statistics, just how close this ball game is. A real lopsided stat. The Patriots 343 yards through the air. John Smith kicks it deep. It is Fulton Walker at the 5.
Need good coverage here because field position is so important. There's a flag down. If this penalty is against the Dolphins, it's going to be detrimental to them because when you get in a sudden death situation, field position becomes so very important. There it is. Illegal use of the hands, probably blocking below the waist or from behind. Field position is the key in this situation. If the Patriots defense can hold, the Dolphins have the punt, they're going to have good field position.
Illegal block above the waist from the rear. Number 52 on the run back. First down.
Gene, there have been 61 overtime games in regular season play since the overtime rule was adopted about 7 years ago. And only 5 of those 61 games have ever ended in a tie. The last one, of course, involved these Miami Dolphins earlier this year, October 4th, at the Orange Bowl. The New York Jets. That's the one where Leahy missed the field goal try as time expired. The Dolphins are 2-4 in overtime competition. New England 0-6. In motion, Jimmy Cephalo give Nathan right side. And he will not turn the corner. Mike Hawkins is there to bring him down. He'll gain 3 yards on the play. We are in overtime at Schaefer. 27-27, the Patriots and the Dolphins.
Mike Hawkins doing an outstanding job of fighting off his blockers and stringing out the play, forcing it to go all the way to the sideline. Then he turned it in, came up, make the tackle himself. This is a key situation for the Patriots. If they can hold the Dolphins right here, they're going to be in great shape because they'll get the football on about their own 40 or so. Conversely, the Dolphins need to get out of that bad field position. They need to get it downfield.
Woodley underthrows the coverage. Tony Nathan is out close to the first down. I believe he'll be about a yard short, and Woodley did a good job of lofting that one right over the official. Almost picked off an official there. Matthews and Nelson combined on the stop.
Tony Nathan got up limping a little bit. He seems to be having some problems with either his ankle or his knee. He goes off the field. He's waiting for someone to come in to take his place.
It'll be awfully close to the first down. And they're saying it's just about a 3-inch distance. So it is 3rd down and inches. We want to apologize to some of you folks around the country that were expecting to see the games in your area. We have had some technical problems. We will get to those games just as soon as we can. Right now, we are in overtime. It is 27-27. And there's the statistic we talked about just a few moments ago. The Dolphins have won 2 and lost 4 overtime games. The Patriots are yet to win in overtime. 3rd and inches. Woodley dives across the left side. He follows Taves and Green across, and he got the first down. As you take a look at Ron Earhart, you saw his team break out to an early lead. Gene, they were unable to hold it. But giving credit to this Patriot ball club, a team that came in here 2-7 and really could have just about rolled over and played dead. They have fought these Dolphins every step of the way.
Well, that's the right word. They have fought back. They fought back from adversity, but so have the Dolphins. The Dolphins have made more miscues in this ball game than they probably have all season long. But again, they continue to come back.
1st and 10. Woodley, who's completed his last 7, now makes it his last 8. Eddie Hill has the football, and he's still on his feet across the 30-yard line. Eddie Hill, the third-year man out of Memphis State.
There's a good block coming up in this situation as Willie gets the ball out to Hill in the flat very quickly. And there you see it on the right side of your screen. Couldn't get the number, but one of those offensive linemen for the Dolphins gets out there and makes a great block and allows Hill to get upfield for a positive gain.
The man he cleared out was the outside linebacker, Mike Hawkins. Hill spent 2 years with the Los Angeles Rams. We don't know a whole lot about this guy. He was traded to the Dolphins during the summer. Spent a month on the injured reserve with an injured ankle. Wasn't activated until 2 weeks ago.
But Willie's going to the sidelines. They've taken another timeout. He's going to go over and confer with Don Shula.
In overtime periods, you only get 2 timeouts. So the Dolphins have just used half of their timeouts. We'll be back in a moment. He's been in this position more times than anybody wants to remember, including him. Second down and 3, the ball at the 33. Nathan tries to go right over the middle, and he will be short of the first down. He tried to follow Newman and Luxo. Tony McGee was there to stop him, as was Steve Nelson. Nelson has played an absolutely outstanding game today.
Particularly since he's playing with some injuries. We mentioned before he had some shoulder problems, both shoulders. He has nagging problems with an ankle. But he's an aggressive player. He has a big heart, and he wants to be in the middle of the action. And he's right there.
It looks like Tony Nathan is hurt over on the 30-yard line as he is being helped off the playing field.
Went out early in the first half when he got a finger in his eye. It's difficult to tell from here, but you wonder if the same thing. He's shaking his head like maybe he's a little dizzy.
Well, he has taken some shots here today. Third down, a little less than 1. 11 minutes, 41 seconds to play here in overtime. As you look at the third down conversion table, third less than 1. Out of the I formation, Steve Howell and Andra Franklin. In motion, Matt Moore, second man. It is Franklin, and he will not get it. Mike Hawkins was there. Ray Claiborne was there. And the Dolphins, Gene, will have to give up the football.
That was a tremendous effort on the part of the entire defensive front for the Patriots. They all did their job as they held their position. They didn't let the Miami offensive line move them back at all. And you could see that everyone met the ball carrier. They all met at that point. They shut them down. That's a tremendous effort.
Kick it away for Miami. Stanley Morgan will have a return from the 20-yard line. And he's out across the 25, and he'll be stopped. And that is where the Patriots will begin. A 46-yard punt. I want to apologize to our fans in San Diego who are not yet able to see the San Diego-Cincinnati Bengal football game. Due to technical problems, we are working on it, we assure you, and we will bring you that ball game between the two division leaders as soon as we can get things straightened out there.
But in the meantime, there's an exciting football game here at Foxborough, and the fans are trying to get their charges going. They know that they can get down within field goal range. They have a guy that can put it through, John Smith.
Brogan has already thrown for well over 100 yards. The give is right up the middle. Sam Bam Cunningham. He gets just about back to the line of scrimmage before A.J. Dewey puts the hurt on him.
Number 58, Cam Bocamper's just checked in for the Dolphins. He's replacing number 83, Vern Denherter. They like to get Bocamper in there when it's going to be a passing situation. He was a linebacker for a while. He has great quickness, so he has the ability to put on an awful lot of pressure on the quarterback.
Loss of a yard, second down and 11, the ball at the 26. Brogan will put it upstairs. Right over the middle. It is DeVegas Ferguson, and he's across the 30-yard line. Again, number 77 is there, Dewey.
A.J. Dewey all over the field. Plays an awful like Ted Hendricks with the Oakland Raiders. They let him freelance a little bit, and what he does is that he confuses the offensive blocking. Sometimes he'll come down and get in a three-point stance and come as a lineman, then he'll back off and play as a linebacker.
That's a very good point. He does a lot of freelancing. That has to cross up the offensive blocking when you see a guy roaming from side to side. 3rd and 5. The Dolphins with 5 defensive backs. Grogan flares it out. He's got Hasselbeck, and he's got the first down. A big first down because it allows New England to keep the football. Don Fesselou tackles him, but not before he moves the ball out to the 38-yard line. 9:09 to play in overtime.
Hasselbeck comes up with what may be the biggest play of the game for him. He's got an awful lot of height, and the ball is thrown high, 6'7", and he uses all of that to catch that pass, and there's very little that Don Vesselou could do about it.
1st and 10. Collins and Cunningham, the backs. The give is to Collins. He tries the right side. A nifty bit of defense from the corner, Don McNeil.
McNeil coming up, making a good stop. Collins thought that he could sucker him inside a little bit with that move and tried to bounce outside, but he didn't fool McNeil at all. He made a good tackle.
Collins is just checked out of the ball game. Vegas Ferguson is back in. As you take a look at the Dolphins defense.
Come on, offense!
2nd down, 10 yards, the ball on the 38.
It's a blitz.
Grogan. Dewey had him. A flag goes down, and Grogan goes down. A.J. Dewey shot through, did an excellent job of pressuring Grogan.
We talked earlier, just a few moments ago, about the fact that Dewey will come as a lineman. Sometimes he'll stay back in his linebacker position. He was up in his linebacker spot, but he came on the blitz, applied the pressure, and that enabled the other people to come up and get Grogan. It was Bob Baumhauer, I think, that made the stop, number 73.
Holding, 43 offense, penalty refused. 3rd down.
Hell, they'd rather take it down away from New England than push him back. So it'll be 3rd down and 15, 16, 17. 3rd and 17. Cunningham comes out. Collins and Andy Johnson are in. Again, we have talked about A.J. Dewey all day long. He has played a tremendous game for Miami. Keep your eyes on number 32 for the Patriots. He is Andy Johnson. The Dolphins counter the passing probability with 5 defensive backs. Grogan.
Intercepted.
Brzezinski.
With his 2nd interception of the day.
And he is bumped out of bounds by Dwight Wheeler.
And there's going to be a penalty. The ball's going to be closer to the goal line for the Dolphins. Bob Brzezinski comes up with his 2nd interception of the day.
A 20-yard return for Brzezinski as he steps right in front of Hasselbeck.
He timed that one perfectly. It looked as though Hasselbeck was wide open. Grogan delivered the ball, but Brzezinski timed it perfectly, stepped in front, picked it off for his 2nd interception of the day, and drew a penalty as he went out of bounds on a late hit.
Dwight Wheeler, the man who bumped him out of bounds, is also being whistled.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 62, a late hit out of bounds. 1st down.
That's the 3rd-year man out of Tennessee State, Dwight Wheeler, the left tackle. And here comes Von Schaumann into the ball game. And the Dolphins are going to try and end this one right now, and why not?
Right now, don't waste any time. Don't try to get it any closer. Don't take the chance of having a turnover. The way this game's gone, you'll never know what'll happen. Could be a miscue between center and quarterback. So if you got a chance to win, go for it.
There you look at Don Shula, who is on the brink of his 200th career victory today. Only 3 others have reached that plateau. George Halas, Curly Lambeau, and Tom Landry. And Don Shula is about to become number 4.
I like what Bum Phillips says about Shula. He says he'll take his'n and beat Yorn, then he'll take Yorn and beat his'n.
All right, while we have a timeout, we'll be back. 7:57 remaining in overtime. Uwe von Schamann is on to try and win it for Miami. Gene Washington, we are at 7:57 of the overtime period. Uwe von Schamann, following Bob Brzezinski's interception, will now try and make 11 out of 11 field goals against New England. This from 30 yards away. This ball game is over. Don Shula has his 200th career victory. What a ball game we have had here at Schaefer Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. The New England Patriots jinx over these Dolphins is finally over. The last time they had won here, way back in 1975, they have gotten here today. The final, Miami 30, the New England Patriots 27. For Gene Washington, this is Phil Stone saying so long from Schaefer Stadium. Stay right where you are. There is more